In the Pits is partnered with the Splat Zone Trinity 3-Man Paintball Series. The series, put on by Splat Zone Indoor Paintball, offers a fun and competitive opportunity for tournament play for players of all experience levels. Beginner, Division 5, and Open 3v3 X-Ball gives all players a chance to gather two friends and have some fun. Are you a beginner interested in playing, but worried your setup won't be competitive? Not to worry, Splat Zone will have several setups on hand for beginner division players if needed. The series is even investing in bringing my personal ref crew from outside the Houston area, guaranteeing that your experience that day will be run smoothly and fairly. Registration is live now for the season opener on Sunday, May 25th, so grab two friends and get signed up today. In the Pits is partnered with BEM Wraps. Behind every mask is a unique and creative player. Tap into it when you order your next custom headpiece. Their Build-A-Band lets you communicate with them one-on-one to make your order just the way you want, all the way down to the color of the stitch. Check out their Instagram at BEMWraps for drops and build videos of them working on orders. They offer very competitive pricing, so reach out today to get started on your own one-of-a-kind headpiece. In the Pits is partnered with 71 Designs. Owned and operated by veteran Wade Martin, and partnered with fellow Texas brand Compete. 71 Designs can take your ideas for soft goods, merchandise, and casual wear and make them a reality. Message 71 Designs on Facebook or Instagram to get started today. In the Pits is partnered with QBR. Are you seeking to heal and recover from the toll that paintball puts on the mind and body? QBR has the solution for you. Head to QBRofficial.com and use code PITS10 for 10% off of your order, plus free shipping. QBR, they don't sell broccoli. In the Pits is partnered with XTPL Events. The Extreme Tournament Paintball League is a series put on by the Lukow family of paintball fit fame that gives the opportunity for players to learn and grow together as a team. 3-Man, Challengers and Champions X-Ball, Draft Mech X-Ball, Super 7s, U3v3, even Glow-in-the-Dark Mech X. There's something for everyone at XTPL. Not to mention prize tosses, raffles, and the infamous paintball munching contest. Events happen throughout the year, and the prizes never disappoint. Sign up for an XTPL event today on PB Leagues. In the Pits is partnered with Hydra. Designed by players for players, you can outfit yourself in Hydra gear from head to toe. Have confidence that when you make a purchase from Hydra, you are purchasing a well-tested and well-thought-out product, trusted by several top teams, including World Cup Pro Champions Paintball Fit. I personally recommend their Hydra Black knee pads. Purchases over $100 receive free shipping. Head to hydra.fit to browse their selection and discover the Hydra mentality. In the Pits is partnered with Texas Pro player Jared Sherman. In a world where saving time means making money, Jared's local seed bank is making waves in Texas, carrying a large assortment of Texas-approved varieties for use in the Texas Hemp Program, seeds for novelty use, as well as premium genetics bred for solventless extraction. Jared Sherman has the ability to satisfy even the most sophisticated collectors. Head to his website and use code INTHEPITS for 10% off of your orders. In the Pits is partnered with Mariachi Águilas de Oro. Based in Austin and servicing the surrounding areas, these Golden Eagles will bring life to any event you are having, from birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, corporate events, or even a simple performance to enjoy. Guillermo Padilla, one of their trumpet players, is also a member of the Texas paintball scene. Visit them on Facebook and Instagram to check out some of their past performances, or give them a call to book them for your event today. In the Pits is partnered with the San Antonio 3v3 Paintball Series. The series provides local players with an affordable, fun opportunity to experience the excitement of tournament paintball and has already seen events sell out. I personally am the head referee for the series, and I can't wait to see you there. Visit SAT3v3.com for details on upcoming events, or head to PB Leagues to register your team today. In the Pits is partnered with Get Dat Shot. Get Dat Shot is a local Texas videographer with numerous events experience filming on the Major League Paintball Pro field. Needing coverage for an upcoming event? Message him at getdat_shot on Instagram and let him know In the Pits sent you. In the Pits is partnered with Paintball Kumite. Paintball Kumite is a program designed by Colt Roberts of professional team San Antonio X Factor to take paintball players of all ages, experience levels, and skill groups and mold them into champions. The program breaks the game down into small, easy-to-learn sessions designed to help you master the fundamentals so that you can elevate your game. Newcomers to the program get a free 1-hour introductory class when mentioning In the Pits. To sign up for a class, message @PaintballKumite on Instagram. All right, there we go, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to episode 153 of In the Pits Paintball Podcast. This podcast is focused on everything that has to do with the paintball scene here in Texas, from professional players and teams to new divisional programs, local tournament series, field owners, Texas-based brands, even photographers and videographers. Every week, we'll have a short and sweet episode with a new topic and new special guest. I'm Christian Dallas Smith. I'm a player for the Texas Titans. In this episode, we are going to preview the upcoming USXBL JT Open and give our predictions for the event. And as always, we are joined by After the Buzzers host, Robert Jordan. Robert, how are you doing this evening?
Well, I was doing good till I turned on my computer a while ago and it crashed, so that's why we're late. It's my fault, folks. I'm sorry about that. I'm having to use my phone. I'm having to use my phone right now.
Yeah, no worries there. I will admit I was a little bit excited to hear you on the new microphone, see you on the new camera, but we've got plenty more of these to do.
Yeah, well, the camera and the microphone work great, but it's just the desktop decided to wanted to update or something, and then black screen, can't get it back. So I guess I'm getting a new computer really soon.
Ooh, man, we're all out with the upgrades at your show lately, aren't we?
Man, I need to try to keep up with the Christians.
All right, so let's get into this. So this one's brought to us by the XTPL event. So let's first start with a recap on how the USXBL Lone Wolf Open went. So we saw a new champion rise to the top in the elite division with the Beefy Boys taking on the TKO Super Gremlins in the finals. With the team that went back to back, the Gulf Coast Ragtag Army fell to the Super Gremlins in the semifinals. Beefy making an absolute statement, 4-0ing Elite. So now the series standings are definitely up for grabs.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Elite goes in number one through the prelims, and then just that couldn't find that Sunday gear and get 4-0'd by Beefy, who kind of struggled during the prelims, but they 4-0'd Elite. They came up, they win a one-on-one in the next match, and they pull off a win. So now they've kind of put Ragtag on their heels and hey, we're here. So it's going to be interesting, especially with some of the things that are happening with the rosters.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that Elite did beat Beefy in the prelims 3-2, and It is a very difficult thing to beat a team twice in a tournament.
Yeah, but it's also really unusual if you beat somebody in a close one to get basically just decimated the following game. I mean, that was like we talked about last time, that was kind of a new Beefy line. So they kind of put their stamp on it, saying that this series they're going to try to make it theirs.
Yeah, for sure. Looking in Division 4 from the last event, it was the New Orleans show. Top to bottom, we had LA Extreme D4 Black taking on New Orleans Smoke in the finals, and then LA Extreme D4 fell to the Houston Zone Kids in the third place game. But man, Louisiana went and put their stamp on Texas, and I am not happy about it.
Yeah, I'm not really happy about it either, but I will say this. The No Smoke guys and the LA Extreme guys were very, very polite. They came to me before the event, and they told me they were going to be there to remember their names. I did see a couple of really good performances out of them. I saw one 4-on-1, a New Orleans Smoke player, number 99, pulled off a 4-on-1 from the home bunker. And if you were familiar with that last layout, that's like an impossible task, but he did it.
Yeah, and actually it's not just the New Orleans teams. Looking at the top 8 out of D4, only 3 of them were from Texas. You had the Houston Zone Kids, you had Austin Assault, and Outlaw Anodizing Green. The rest of them, you had New Orleans Smoke, LA Extreme D4, and LA Extreme D4 Black from Louisiana, but then you also had the New Mexico Bandits and OKC Mutiny. So yeah, Texas only taking 3 out of the top 8 spots is worrying.
It's worrying, but we're starting to get a lot of out-of-state teams. I mean, we had a team from Hawaii, Oklahoma, Louisiana, several teams, Florida, New Mexico. Texas is starting to look kind of thin, and if they don't get their shit together, they're going to be in trouble because these guys are like, hey, there's a lot of money to be won in Texas, and we're going to come claim it.
Yeah, one thing I will say for this event, this is traditionally the hottest event of the year, where I think the Texas teams will have the biggest home field advantage compared to any of these out-of-state teams. So we'll see how the elements fare in that factor.
Yeah, absolutely. The San Antonio Oven Factory down here at X Factor, it's not the park, it's just the part of the country that we're in. Even last year when it rained, it's pouring down rain and it's still in the high 90s. It's just miserable down here when the weather doesn't cooperate, which is not very often.
Yeah. And I mean, not to say that the last event was cold by any means. It was definitely unwelcoming conditions for everybody out there. But this event traditionally is on a whole other level.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said, there's hot and there's humid, and then there's San Antonio, and it's just, I don't know how you South Texas guys play in it on a regular basis. It's just crazy to me. It's miserable to go down there. It really is. I love the park. I love the people, but your weather, man, y'all can keep it.
Well, I mean, we've definitely been seeing a lot of success from the San Antonio teams lately, so I think that might have a factor in it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good teams down there between X Factor Park, Outlaw, and now Wasteland. I mean, I think we're fixing to see a rise of South Texas and this what's previously been a North Texas dominated league and series and stuff. I think it's fixing to change. And then you throw in all the out of state people. Man, it's going to be a knife fight, and I'm here for it.
Yep, the arms race is going strong, and the outside of Dallas teams have been taking it personal the last couple of years and really gotten organized, I'd say. So I think this event heading into it is much less predictable than in years past.
I agree. It's going to be. I think by the time we get to the championship for the series in all the divisions, because I think we talked about it, or I was talking about it on my show. Like, there's 17 points between fifth and first, and we know that's nothing. 17 points is nothing. I mean, you can overcome that in one event. Somebody slips, and you're right there in it. And for the amount of money that's fixed to be on the line, that's nuts.
Oh yeah, and the gap is even smaller in Division 4. It's only less than 13 points from top to. Is that your computer that's back up? All right. Looks like Robert's computer is back up. We're gonna add him here in just a second once he gets his camera going. But yeah, just to finish off that thought, D4 teams, you guys got to step it up for Texas, because Louisiana coming in and putting their stamp on like that. Even though it is great to see the rest of the region, the rest of the South region in general stepping up, we got to represent when it comes to especially my home field in San Antonio. Here, I'm going to add Robert here. Oh, device is not connected. All right. Adding to the stage. Robert, can you hear me? All right. So I'm just going to leave Robert's thing here. Hopefully he gets his camera turned on and his microphone going. But continuing on to Division 5, we had Elite Dynasty D5 taking home the win. Elite Dynasty coming in from Houston again, putting their mark too. I'm hearing myself. Hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe that's Robert that I'm hearing. Robert, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, there we go. Yes, I can hear you, but I can also hear myself.
Hold on, let me. What about now?
Testing.
Put some headphones on.
Yeah, that'll probably be good. But yeah, I can hear myself. I don't know if you also have the stream open on your phone or on another tab. Testing. Can you hear? There we go. Well, we can hear you great, Robert.
Okay. Well, you can't see me for some reason. My camera decides. I don't know what the hell happened to my computer.
So go to your. Oh. So looks like you might be using. Is there another app that you run the camera through? Sorry, y'all. We're gonna just continue on, Robert.
Yeah, let's just keep on going. I'll just use my voice. It's better probably this way anyway.
Well, thankfully, it's a podcast, so you can listen to it.
Yeah.
All right. So now going down to D5, Elite Dynasty D5 taking home the win over the Donut Shop Mafia in the finals, and then double homicide over the Meanies 71 in the third place match. The Meanies making huge strides in D5 this season.
Yeah, the Meanies, Wade Martin came in from the scenario world about a year and a half ago and just started scooping up players that were left on the sidelines and said, hey, we're going to do something. And now they've got Houston Meanies, about 5 different Dallas Meanie lines. It's crazy. He's done a great job with these guys and continue to grow. So more power to him.
I love it. Yeah, and Sasha saying Elite Dynasty is a San Antonio 3v3 open division team. So, yeah, love to see it. Them just working hard, getting all of these different opportunities to go compete, and it's paying off for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's doing really well for them. And, they made Sunday at the last event, so I look for them to do big things now.
Oh, yeah. And in D5 X-Ball, it's really a tale of the top 4 teams here. We're other than the top 4, you're seeing really big swings in placements. For example, Elite Factory getting second at the first event and then dropping all the way down to 13th. You have Double Homicide, who didn't even play the first event, got third. So just seeing the swings outside of the top 4, which are Elite Dynasty, the Donut Shop Mafia, Sinister, and the Meanies. So any one of those teams look poised to be fighting for a championship here.
Yeah, and again, in every division, it's...
Robert? Oh, looks like we lost Robert for a quick second. But I'm going to continue until he gets back. So, yeah, those top 4 teams are... Oh, there we go. Robert, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry, folks.
Okay.
You're
good. It's all good. Yeah, if you want to keep trying with the computer, go ahead. If you want to just hop back on the phone, that's fine too. So, yeah, this D5, we'll see how it goes. D5 is now sold out at this event. So seeing a couple more teams come in. And yeah, we'll see who all is gonna come out on top when the elements are unforgiving.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, usually there's certain constants in paintball, and one of them is going to be paint management. But now on top of just paint management and having to figure the layout, which is blind, and managing your roster, you're going to have to manage your health. The elements, I cannot state enough, in my opinion, the elements are going to play a huge factor in who walks away with the wins this coming weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't be trying to go in this with 5 or 6 guys. That's not going to be enough.
Oh, no. If you're out there running a minimal roster, 5 guys, 6 guys, and a couple years ago we saw a new team or a returning team, Team Blank, showed up with 5 guys. The average age was like in their 50s, and they were wearing all black. And me and Christian just looked at each other and went, okay, so do we call the ambulance now? Mm-hmm. And they struggled. And I mean, so you really want to pad your lineup. And, everybody's going to get their spins because people are going to cramp. They're going to be tired. It just past XTPL, there was people, by the time Championship Sunday came around, there were teams dropping players like flies. I mean, literally cramping legs, backs, everything.
Oh, yeah. And unfortunately, I did get a message earlier today from my friend Anson, who usually runs the Sports IVs booth. They are actually not going to be at this event due to a last-minute family emergency with one of the medical technicians. So, unfortunately, they will not be at the event. I think they have a location like maybe 10, 15 minutes away that they're going to be honoring the event pricing, but they won't be on site. So if you're planning on doing that, definitely look to prepare in other ways, or maybe get an IV the night before.
Yeah, that's a loss because I've seen a lot of people use these guys, and from what I've heard, firsthand, everybody says that this is a game changer. So if they're not going to be there, stock up on mustard, pickle juice, pickles, bananas, potassium and salt. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. All right. So this one is brought to us by QBRofficial.com. So we have 91 teams, which is a little bit smaller than I think the 98 teams that we had at the last event. We have 9 less teams in D4, 1 less elite team with Gangster dropping off out of the elite division. However, D5 is sold out now. And we also saw since the last event in NXL Cincinnati, several Texas teams podiumed. Team Evil took 3rd in Division 3. Shut Up or Trying Hydra taking 2nd in D4, and the Gunners took 3rd in D4. And then the Hydra Kids finished 2nd in the Youth Advanced Division. Dallas Vibe took 3rd in the WNXL, and Dallas Dolls won the Amateur WNXL division. So how do you think that, granted, I know we just talked about the Louisiana show that was the last USXBL event, but with those results that I just said, how do you think Texas is looking right now compared to the rest of the country?
I think that Texas overall as a whole still is the mecca. When you're talking about national tournaments, every event for the last, let's say 5 years, every event has multiple Texas podiums. They're not all number one. They're not all, seconds or nothing. But, I mean, and you see a recurring theme here. It's teams like the Gunners and Vibe, obviously Fit, but you'll see the same teams always in the conversation. And I think that's a conversation when you're talking about an overall picture of paintball health. What you're not hearing is a lot of California teams and not a whole lot of Florida teams, which has traditionally been the 2 hotbeds.
Yeah, I think this event we'll see, because the tides have been changing, at least in USXBL, but over on the national circuit, Texas teams still very much towards the top. So yeah, let's get into it. For just like we always do, we're going to be covering every single team in every single division, starting off with Division 5. So first, Robert, what we'll do is we'll just go through all of the teams, and then we'll swing back around and talk about our predictions in each bracket. I know this becomes very much a marathon for us. Yeah. So what we're going to try and do, I couldn't find one in time, but I was thinking about trying to get like an on-screen timer and give us like 30 seconds per team. But even then, that's, we've got 93 teams or was it 90, 91 teams to get through.
Yeah, that's still a lot. It is what it is. We're here for the people out there that are interested, so let's go.
All righty. Let me get my screen set up to share. I've got all of the rosters open. Okay. So, starting off, we're going to go bracket by bracket. Let me get my screen. Oh, hold on. All right. So everybody, you should be able to see it now.
Yay.
Okay. Robert, can you see it?
Yes, I can see it good.
All righty. So starting off, we have Elite Dynasty D5. And Robert, for your camera, maybe look at the settings. Just make sure you have the right device selected. I want to help you out a little bit. See if we can't get your face back on here. But anyways, we've got Elite Dynasty D5 with coming out of Houston, Texas. We got Adrian Barajas, Jake Burton, Tyler Godwin, Doc Hughes, Christian Keefe, Jorge Martinez, John Pyron, Tariq Quasi, and Edison Ramirez with Brooks Price on staff. Up next, we've got the Corrupt Crew New Mexico. We got Eden Carter, Daniel Cedino, Michael Madrid, Ricardo Medina, Wasis or Ornelas or give me some help here, guys. Duakis, Ornelas, and Julian Ruiz with Bryant Mendoza and Isaiah Williams on staff. Robert, what do you know about either of those squads?
Really don't know a whole lot about these guys, other than I talked to the Elite Dynasty guys after their last event. Super nice guys. They had to pick their MVP for the headband that I give out, and nobody wanted to claim, being the MVP. They all wanted to share it. So I wound up giving like 7 guys like one headband. They're like, we're going to rotate it. So I like these guys. They're really good. I like them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that they're the 1 seed overall, the 1 seed in their bracket. So we're expecting big things from them. And then how about the Corrupt Crew coming out of New Mexico?
Yeah, Corrupt Crew, I've seen them play a couple times. I find these guys to be to be as young as they are, to be kind of fast and aggressive. I look for them probably to bump out of D5 pretty soon. Just if they don't point out, they seem to be very hungry and want to move up. They're looking for it.
Alrighty. Up next, we've got the Gunners 187. These guys, make no mistake, even though they're not the main Gunners line, they're still coming after it. So we got John Butler, Giovanni Delgado, Sean Dodson, Luke Lopez, Gail Salty, Brian Sweet, and Mario Young with Brian Padilla, Corey Sepulveda, Jeremy Shoemaker, and Jesse Stevens on staff.
Yeah, you got Jesse Stevens on staff. That right there, if nothing else tells you that you got a winning combination, then you go and train with the regular Gunners. These guys, they're going to continue the winning tradition of being a Gunner. There's no way around it. That they're not built for failure. They're built for success.
Definitely. They are, without a doubt, the premier lower division program in San Antonio, if not in the entire state of Texas right now.
I agree. I think that, and I look for them to probably before the end of the year, probably to be competing for the number 1 spot.
Absolutely. But I know there's another team here on this list that won't let that go easily if they have anything to say about it. But we'll keep going here. So up next, we got Elite Factory Red out of Lubbock. Another great program in Texas. You've got Brandon Bonner, Cummins Cole, Cash Dupree, Ryan Philman, Dakota Green, Devin Lopez, David Monarez, Matthew Pinkham, and Richard Welch.
Yeah, now this is another team, Elite Factory Red. I believe they're out of Lubbock, out at their Elite Paintball, Doug Bryant's place. And if you look around in the lower divisions, D4 and D5, you see a lot of teams out of that Lubbock field. And to be out there in the nowhere panhandle, that's a pretty good thing, And I think these guys, they're probably not the best elite team out there, but they're definitely up-and-comers.
For sure. And they've got pretty solid support. I know that the other Elite Factory line got second place at the first event. So with this organization, they've got the backing. They're able to consistently practice, and they've got higher ups that can show them the ropes.
Yeah, they do. And again, that's one of the things. The Gunners, the Meanies, all these teams that have these deep lines and deep divisional teams always have people to pull them up to that next level, which is a very important thing. It's hard to be a new team with no coaches, no support, just kind of doing it on your own. You're going to have a rough road.
Oh, yeah. All right. Up next, we've got Get Ducked coming out of Austin, Texas. I believe they usually practice at, I want to say Lost Paintball in San Marcos. Yep. Yeah, right here, Lost Paintball. So you've got Austin Cheney, Keegan Davis, Jose Durantes, Rodrigo Guajardo, Aaron Lopez, John McClain, Daniel Summers, and Martin Vega with Theodore Crick as their coach. This team has been making some appearances in a couple of smaller events around Texas, and we're going to see how they fare at the main stage.
Yeah, they're mostly like 3-man or like standard old-fashioned 5-man team, but you see their name getting mentioned a lot. Hey, they're touching the podium, they're right in the mix, they're making Sundays. Now they're like, hey, we want to go try our hand at X-Ball. Good luck. You picked a rough one.
Definitely a big jump to make. But they did get 4th place in D6 3v3 at the first USXBL JT Open. So we'll see how they fare when making the jump.
Yeah, no disrespect intended, but 3v3 is not X-Ball in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. That is a whole different animal, and I cannot stress that enough.
Well, good luck to them. So up next, we've got the Donut Shop Mafia D5 with Ivan Apodaca, Abel Chavez, Chris Cintron, Alexandro Garcia, Abram Loya, and Alex Vega with Coach Durrell Lewis. Robert, what are you seeing about the size of this team?
Yeah, that right there, I see 6 guys. I'm not a math scholar, but I'm pretty sure 6 guys equals rough road. I really do. And I love the Donut Shop Mafia, the group, both lines in the Elite and the D5. I've been begging for one of their jerseys for like 2 years. I just got somebody reached out to me today on Instagram and told me, hey, give me your size, give me your number. I'm going to get you a jersey. So, I'm here for it. Let's go.
All righty. Yeah, I mean, they are coming into this with back-to-back podiums. So,
and that's a good thing, man. I mean, it's really nice to have, but again, I think you might be getting just a little bit cocky coming into San Antonio with only 6 guys. I mean, that's going to be hard.
Yeah, we shall see if playing it close to the vest here is going to backfire in their case. So up next, we've got Low Expectations coming out of San Antonio's Paintball Knights. And now quite the opposite. We got 10 players here. So we got Colton Bauman, Hayden Garcia, Zachary Johnson, Jesse Lujan, David Mejia, Christopher Moncada, Celine Nava, Logan Peralta, Dante Perez, and Michael Vasquez.
Yeah, I don't know much about these guys. I know they play, some little bit. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at their things, and
it looks like they took a 5th place at the last event.
Yeah, and that's not bad. They've got a deep roster. I'm not familiar with many of these people, but I think it's going to be advantageous for them to have 10 people because, especially when the team before you gets blown out and you go into true X-Ball, when it's like 1 o'clock in San Antonio, yeah, I'm going to want 10 people on my line.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's definitely, I think, better than 6. But at the same time, they've shown that they can hang. So we'll see if 10 is still going to be too much to manage, or if that's exactly what they need to be able to survive the heat.
Well, I'm gonna be rooting for them because again, low expectations. The name says it all right there. I'm hoping they have high expectations.
Well, coming off of the 5th place, I think they need to give themselves a little bit more credit.
I agree.
So now we've got Austin Notorious, FSU, coming out of Austin. We've got Dylan Geyer, Seven Gonzalez, David Martinez, Logan Preshong, Joshua Sandoval, Corey Sedilio, and Nathan Shea with Michael Diaz, Mark Franz on staff. And then, of course, as always, the remembrance for Diego Soto. So this Austin Notorious being one of the longest standing programs out of Texas, this team has not been doing what they traditionally do in Division 5. So, Robert, what are you expecting out of this squad?
Well, I'm expecting them to change their ways and get back to winning. This has been unusual. D5, D4 kind of been, FSU's bread and butter. I mean, they've always got a deep roster. They've always got people. They're always making podiums. This year, it's a little different. Now, is that because the big team kind of disbanded and became tauntauns and they don't have time to coach these guys up? Or, is the owner Mark Franz, who, is he not being able to put in as much time? I don't know. I mean, but you got Marky Franz coaching. You got Michael Diaz, both qualified, very good qualified to do this, and they got Dylan Geyer. I mean, this team right here, should be top 3 to say the least.
Well, I think part of it might be that the rest of Texas got much more organized in Division 5. So and no longer is it just one team that is passing the knowledge down and showing their beginners the ropes. I think a lot of other teams have caught up that way.
Well, that might be. I mean, the first through the door gets all the credit. So, FSU being one of the first teams to have such a big farm system, and everybody else saw how the model works and they've copied it. So you're right. They literally could be, just everybody else got better.
All right. Up next, we got Cerberus Paintball coming from Richmond in Splat Zone, Houston. Huge roster here. We got Larry Baker, Guilherme da Silva, Nicholas da Silva, Joshua Edwards, Kilo Estrada, Aaron Melton, Brent Olson, John Pena, Gage Robinson, Victor Romero, and Micah Sutterth, with Christian Romero on staff.
Wow. Love the name. Not familiar with anybody other than Guillermo. I've seen him play a little bit, but I'm kind of unfamiliar with this team. A lot of the South Texas teams, I don't get to see them as much, but I'm looking forward to seeing them now because just for the name alone, Cerberus, it's just kind of cool.
I know they've been taking part in a lot of 3-mans. Looks like at the JT Open, they got second place in D6 3v3. It looks like this is going to be their first event as a team playing X-Ball. So going to be a big jump.
Ooh, that is a big jump. If that's their first X-Ball event, again, we don't have quite as many teams as we did at the last one, but it's still pretty close. I don't know. I just don't know if I'm going to pick my first X-Ball, event to be San Antonio. I know it's closer for these guys, but it's a lot harder at San Antonio. To me, it's the roughest one to win all year.
I think so too. Definitely. All right. Up next, we got the Houston Hitters out of Houston's Wasteland Paintball Park. You've got Connor Amalfi, Carson Amalfi, Johnny Carter, Blake Cash, Alexander Hardy, Tyler Rawlinson, and David Webb.
Yeah, the Houston Hitters, again, another one out of John Jackson's Wasteland. I like the fact that these guys, they're coming, there's 7 guys on the roster. You still might be a little light for what we're talking about, but still, hey, I feel like anybody comes out of Wasteland, it's almost like anybody coming out of X Factor. I think that you're going to have some good coaching there. You're going to have people to coach you up, even if you don't have a full-time coach.
Yeah, I think so. One thing I do want to point out is that a lot of these teams that we don't know so much about in this Division 5, they have been playing a lot of 3-man events, both in either the first USXBL JT Open and D6 3v3, or maybe they're taking part in Sasha's San Antonio 3v3 series, or even over in Houston playing the Splat Zone Trinity 3-man. They're starting out competing for the first time, and now they're making the jump into X-Ball, which is exactly kind of what we've been missing as far as a lower barrier to entry. And I want to give a huge shout out to all of those series for investing in centering their focus around this beginner 3-man, because that really needs to be where the starting point is for paintballers, not D5 X-Ball.
Yeah, that's true. And in a discussion last year with Mike Hinman, we were talking with some of the people from the Tennessee League, the MXLS or whatever it is. They did a study, and teams that are new that start in 3-man that actually survive and transition into D5 X-Ball is around 52 to 55%. Teams that jump directly into it and try to stay in D5 X-Ball is around 17%. So there's a reason why we need D6 or these beginner 3-mans.
Yeah, that is a huge difference there. So again, shout out to everybody that's putting on these 3-man events. It's very, very important for our community. Up next, we've got Sinister Paintball, another Houston team that's also been competing in these 3-mans. I just from roughing both the ones in San Antonio and in Houston, I'm seeing a lot of familiar names, and I really enjoy it. So coached by Lawson Benedict, we've got Simon Duperret, Nicholas Laduca, Brett Lowry, D'Amico Minhares, Michael Monterrubio, Matthew Moreno, Hunter Padilla, Gerardo Ramirez, and Eric Ruiz with Hudson Hall on staff.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those many teams that, I'm not really super familiar with, but, out of South Texas, these are people in your backyard. You'd be more familiar with them, but I have watched them play. They played really well at the last event. So, and me being on the main field, I don't get to see a whole lot of the D4, D5 unless you make Sunday. So I like to see these guys. These are guys I think these guys are going to do well.
Yeah, for sure. They won the first event. They got 8th at the Lone Wolf Open. So look out for these guys. They're definitely dangerous. Up next, we've got another Houston team, Double Homicide. I feel like we've seen a lot of Houston teams in a row here. Out of Splat Zone. Another D6 three-man team making the jump. We've got Raimundo Avilar, Matthew Avilar, Isaac Hernandez, Angel Montalvo, Caleb Musler, and Jesus Olivares with Christian Cash Cavazos, Alex Perez, and Kyle Wren on staff.
Yep, and I did see these guys play. I remember it very well because I told them, I said, their name is so good, they killed you twice, the Double Homicide. But again, 6 people. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, they took bronze at the last one, so we'll see how they improve.
Yeah, I mean, they got cool jerseys, they got a lot of chutzpah with them. But I don't know, man. 6 people. You're going to hear me say that a lot today for all these people that are coming in with low roster limits. I just don't know.
All right. Up next, we've got the Donut Shop Mafia D5 Sprinkles. I think this was my favorite team name from the last event.
Yeah, I remember talking about that. Yeah, this is great.
So another team out of El Paso. You got Isaiah Dungy, Luis Garcia, Antonio Gonzalez, Angelo Madrigal, Aldo Martinez, Christopher Sotelo, Luis Tovar, and Ryan Urrutia, with Darrell Lewis as their coach. TDSM has been expanding very quickly, I feel like. And what I remember when they first made their way onto the USXBL scene and the Bunkerfest scene a couple of years back, and it was just, I felt like the one line. Now I think they're bringing 4 or 5 lines into this event. Yeah,
they've really expanded a lot. And look where they're from. They're from El Paso. I mean, they're taking their paintball scene and they're bringing it to the USXBL up and around Dallas, around San Antonio, and they're bringing competitive teams. So I'm wondering, what's going on in El Paso that we're missing. I might have to make my way out there sometime and just go to one of the local fields because these guys, they're impressive and they're growing. Like you said, they're growing really, really fast.
Oh, yeah. And up next, we've got Brew Crew, new team out of Delta paintball field out of the Valley. And I don't recognize any of these people, but I love the name. So we got Jorge Cardenas, Matthew Castillo, Guadalupe Contreras, Luis Fuentes, Devin Fuentes, Brian Lampkin, Doria Mendoza, and Rolando Ortiz.
Yeah, I do not know a single person offhand of these guys, but I know that anybody that comes out of the Valley down there, way back in the day when, the Brotherhood team was out of there and guys like Mafia and stuff used to play there, all you knew about the Valley teams were they were tough and they would light you up. I mean, they believed in all gas, no brakes, shoot everybody, overshoot everybody. Hated playing teams from the Valley. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing these guys, see if this still holds true.
Yeah, and what you just saw me, if you're watching the video, this is their first event as a team. No 3-man or nothing on this Brew Crew name. So we shall see how they handle jumping straight into D5 X-Ball.
Well, good for them. I mean, hey, we got to have people that, that were willing to come in there and, learn and take their lumps, or maybe not take their lumps. Maybe they'll come in and give some.
Yeah, we'll see. Look at this right here. We've got 6 out of the 8 players. This is their first event ever. And then we got 1 D5 player and 1 D4 player. So welcome to the USXBL.
Yeah, welcome to the USXBL. Man, that is, I hope that Guadalupe Contreras, I hope he's prepared them because he knows what he's stepping into. So I hope he's been forthcoming and tells everybody else, hey, it is what it is,
For sure. All right, up next, we've got LA Extreme from Slidell, Louisiana. You got Nixon Bullock, Anthony Gillot, Aiden Nichols, John Perdue, Lucius Schilling, Rustin Treadaway, Reed Vascoku, Danny Vera, and Stephen Young, with Charles Langlois as their coach.
Yeah, LA Extreme, again, another one out of LA Extreme Paintball Park. I don't know what they're putting in the water down there, but whatever it is, it's making good paintball teams. And this is going to be another one. I mean, obviously they're D5, so they're going to play like D5 guys, but you're going to see a higher quality of D5 players from these guys.
Oh, yeah. Looks like it's their very first event under this name. Let's check the legacy roster. Yeah, all of these guys have experience. So first time jumping in as a team into D5 X-Ball. But, coming from LAX, they're going to be prepared.
Yeah, because all those guys out there, they play No Smoke. They play the black LA Extreme, the regular LA Extreme. They don't separate like, hey, we're D4 or D3. It's just one big, brouhaha down there where, it's just a knife fight. Everybody gets in there and beats up on everybody. So I look for them to do really, really well.
For sure. All right, up next, we've got the Meanie 71. You got Ryan Blassingame, Jordan Elmore, Jalen Lilly, Samuel Major, Wade Martin, Carson Weatherford, Chris Weatherford, Adam Wemhoner, and AJ Woodyard. The Meanie 71, as I said earlier, they made huge strides. They've been very consistent. They got a 5th and then a 4th. So let's see if they can climb and break that next plane to get into the podium.
I look for these guys to do well. Now, I know these guys quite well. AJ Woodward he came from the Hunt County paintball team, J17 or whatever it is. But Chris Weatherford came over he used to have his own team. Wade, obviously. Jordan Elmore loses over 100 pounds after he wrecks his motorcycle, comes back to play paintball. So he's really good snap shooter, good laner, and Jalen's pretty good. Now, what they are lacking, if you just give me a second here to criticize them a little bit, is an outside coach. They can't change things on the fly. Wade tries to do a really good job of being a player coach, but we all know that doesn't work. You can't play and coach at the same time. So I feel like if they get some outside eyes and somebody to kind of handle the day-to-day, run the pits, and give them some advice, I think these guys could be a top 3 team.
Fair enough. All right. Up next, we got Texas Rampage from Waxahachie out of Paintball Fit. You got Surasit Adhad, John Bamberg, Ricky Bliss, Jared Brooks, Maddox Brooks, Cooper Daniel, Malachi Federson, Drew Hernandez, Jeremy Leidick, and Ramiro Ortiz with Jaden Leidick on staff. What do you know about these guys?
Oh, yeah. This is another one of these guys I know. Jason, John. Well, he's John, but he's Jason Bamberg to me. Been around 20 years. Got a lot of experience. Jeremy Leidick, again, a lot of experience out here. The one drawback to these guys, they tend to get a lot of playing on penalties. Not wiping or anything like that, but just, they're not registering their hits, or they're, going a little too far, shooting their gun a little too much. If they can cut back on the penalties, again, top 5 team.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, they broke into the Sunday round last event. We'll see if they can improve upon that.
Yeah, just keep away from the yellow boo birds.
Up next, you got Splat Houston out of Houston, Texas. You've got Bradley Campbell, Matthew Martinez, Christopher Peters, Ivan Podoroshini, Joel Quintanilla, Leo Salas, Jonathan Salas, and Zachary Summers. And this is with the backing of Jaybird, who is the owner of Splat Houston, the indoor-outdoor field in Houston, also the owner of the Splat Zone Trinity 3-man league, and they're coming once again to compete in the USXBL.
Yeah, and again, Zachary Summers, seen him play a little bit, pretty fair player. But any team that has somebody that's truly named Ivan on their team, I'm here for it because everybody knows Ivans are good paintball players.
All righty. Up next, we've got Slow Down, I'm Hungover. From San Antonio's X Factor Paintball Park, you've got Jimmy Crenshaw, Justice Crenshaw, Jesse Crenshaw, Jared Crenshaw, Ricardo Cuevas, Jesus Cuevas, Juwan Jenkins, Kyle Moore, Michael Quintanilla, and Hunter Smith, with Cherie Crenshaw, Kerry Crenshaw, and Samara Palacios on staff, and Coach Royce Lyles. That is a lot of family members together on one team.
Yeah, and it used to be just family members, but they realized they needed a little outside help, decided to change the name, change the team a little bit. I think I personally think they missed a chance when they could have been the Crenshaw Mafia, but still, Slow Down, I'm Hungover. Again, about the middle of the pack team, but making strides, trying to get better every day. And I really like all the Crenshaws a lot. So we'll see how they do, but I think it's going to be pretty good. And I think they'll have some good matches.
Yeah, I think so. They've also been participating in the 3-man events at X Factor, so they are looking for those opportunities to slowly get better. They're at X Factor all the time. So, we'll see if they can start breaking into those Sunday rounds. Up next, we've got the San Antonio Sucios, also out of X Factor. You've got Joshua Arias, Jorge Arredondo, Tyler Chervinskins, Richard Galan, Ray Guerra, Noah Guerrero, Jason Hinojosa, Angel Nahar, Michael Ramirez, and Jacob Schweitzer, with Victoria Villa on staff and Coach Jacob Troncoso. So another team out of San Antonio. They've been a newer team getting together. I think they started midway through this year, but this is their first foray into X-Ball.
Ooh, well, I'm unfamiliar with them, but if it's their first, again, this is like 3 or 4 teams that they're making their first jump into X-Ball, and they picked San Antonio. Well, at least they brought a lot of people, so I'll give them credit for that. But I'm going to have to play a wait-and-see game to see how they play. But I love new teams, man. I love people that want to come and do what we do, the thing that we love, and I welcome them with open arms, and let's just see how they do.
Yeah, real quick shout-out to Papa Sosh here in the chat. He's giving a shout-out to all of his San Antonio 3v3 teams as they come up. Love to see it. Up next, we've got
Sasha.
Yes, sir. Up next, we've got Elite Factory out of Lubbock. We've got Joe Betancourt, Sam Chapler, Shelby Cortez, Logan Crenshaw, Memphis Fulgham, Justin Jones, Levi Martinez, and Logan McDougall, with Jason Crenshaw on staff and Coach Chris Vanderwald. Elite Factory, they got second at the first event and then dropped all the way to 13th at the last one at the Lone Wolf Open. So we'll see if they can bounce back.
Yeah, I think the only reason they dropped so far down was I think they got a little thin on their coaching because Chris was coaching the big elite team and them, and disruptions in the pits, disruptions in coaching, changes, things like that, it tends to affect you. I just played an event with Logan Crenshaw. I played the XDPO with him. Great player. I think they're going to really do well this time. I think the layout's going to benefit them. And I think if Chris can dedicate some time to them, I look for them to do really, really well.
Yeah, I hope so. All right, up next, we've got Shut Up, They're Trying out of Dallas, Texas. You've got Jeremiah Betancourt, Ryan Coker, Marco Hernandez, Antonio Jimenez, Malachi Montgomery, Colton Safford, Nicholas Shadle, Colton Wells, and their coach, of course, Jerry Phillips.
Yeah, and all Jerry does is find people and build teams. D5, D4, semi-pro, D3. It doesn't matter. Everywhere you look, all you see is Shut Up, SUWT, Jerry, and somehow he figures out a way to give everybody his time. I see him out at FIT all the time. He's not playing. He's running around organizing. And you find guys like, Colton Safford, that can be key people. And I think Colton's right here is going to be a key guy for this team right here.
Definitely. All right. For me, this team has been consistently middle of the pack. I want to see them just. Usually that just means there's one or two less mistakes that could have put them into the Sunday round. So let's see if we can get them to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, they have a hard time finding teams. The big teams, Shut Up doesn't usually play amongst themselves. They separate, fields, like the D3 guys will go play with the other D3 guys. And so they might not get as much pull up from the other teams, but
Robert, I think we lost you there. Yeah, I think I do see Marco Hernandez, San Antonio native, making his guest appearance on this team. So yeah, welcome back. So Robert, there we go. Now we got you back. Robert, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right, perfect. So yeah, let's keep going. Next, we've got PB Gateway V3, another team that's really made their taken their ground in paintball over the last couple of years. Out of Arlington, Texas, out of DFW Adventure Park and Paintball Fit, Patrick Alley, Gabriel Carl, Riley Dodson, Tien Mai, Logan McIntyre, Anton Nguyen, Corey Peterson, Justin Russo, and Ross Valet with Pritcha Sritansuk on staff.
Yep, and PB Gateway is another one of those teams that's quite often out at Paintball Fit. You just see them grinding away off to themselves. They're not out there ripping any waves, or fighting to get on the field. So I think they're going to be about the middle of the pack team. I don't think they've yet learned the PB Gateway of playing paintball. But, stick around long enough, you'll learn, and you'll be up there with the big guys.
For sure. Up next, we've got Austin Oni Black coming out of Outlaw Paintball. Got Jose Aguilar, Ben Alicia, Robbie Bennett, Keegan Gordon, Dre Helms, Jacob Jackson, John Lockwood, Hunter Lockwood, Matthew Lopez, Edward McKinnon, and Luis Nesbitt.
Yeah, all the Austin Oni teams, all of them, gold, black, every one of these guys. Another one of those factory teams, that just are big family teams that just have lots and lots of upper echelon teams to pull them up. Tokyo Kula, he coaches, I think, Austin Oni Gold. His son plays on it, but they practice these guys a lot. So I look for these guys to at least represent themselves very well in an Austin Oni kind of way.
For sure. Up next, we've got San Antonio Static coming out of Lost Paintball. And we've got Jarrett Allen, Jacob Chamblin, Irvi Garcia, Christopher Latour, Miguel Martinez, Jazz Ramos, and Ryan Wagner. This is the first I've ever heard of this team. It looks like they played the Hot Paint Summer 3v3 San Antonio event. That was on the other field, so I wasn't reffing the beginner field on that one. So it looks like they played one beginner 3v3 event, and now they're hopping straight into D5 X-Ball.
Look at them go. Let's go then. I mean, that's what, like 5 teams so far in D5 that are just like, hey, we're going to launch. Let's go. I give them credit.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Team full of beginners. So good luck to you guys. X-Ball is a whole other ball.
Yeah, and it is. And they brought 7. I mean, not optimal. The minimum I'd want to hit this with would be 8. But again,
especially for your
guys,
first X-Ball.
Yeah. And they don't seem to have a coach. So, again, who's going to be making the calls? Who's going to make the right calls? Who's going to make the right substitutions, keep people from cramping, passing out, whatever? I wish them luck, and I hope I get a chance to slip off over to the D5 field and at least watch a game or two of some of these new teams, because I really miss that.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one piece of advice that I would give is if your team doesn't have the budget to hire a coach, at least do what you can and pull friends and family members to help you out in the pits. That'll help you a ton.
100%. I tell people this all the time, and I stand behind it. Get a coach. Don't get somebody that plays at your level and everything. Go get a coach. You don't have to hire a pro coach, but you can go get you an upper-level D3 guy, somebody that gets you through the basics, and get pit help. Get friends, family, so you don't have to do everything yourself, because you're going to be in trouble if you're trying to do it all.
For sure. Up next, we've got Texas Easy Company coming out of Jonestown, Texas Paintball. We've got Seth Catchpool, Matthew Che, Cameron Dudley, Brian Gibson, Aylin Hernandez, Garrison Coleman, Evan Coach, and Matt Pace. So I usually don't see too many teams coming out of Texas Paintball in Jonestown. But yeah, we'll see how Texas Easy Company does. I know they've been around for a year or two, I want to say. And
they've been around for a little while. And Matt Pace, pretty decent player. They've been around a couple years. They kind of surprised me because I just took them at their word when they said Texas Easy Company. I thought, okay, it's going to be beer league paintball, and they kind of surprised me. So this ought to be good.
Yeah, they are currently sitting in 6th place, consistently getting into the Sunday round, usually exiting in the first round, though, with a 12th and a 9th, and they're sitting 6th overall. So let's see how much they've improved since the last event.
I hope so, because, again, when you're sitting at 6, let's see, what's the point spread from 6 to there? Well,
it's
60
pretty
points.
decent, but
58 points, but still, there's still season points, and the last one counts double, so it's not insurmountable.
Very true.
You can come by and get that big check.
Alrighty, and now we have Austin Oni Gold, also out of Outlaw Paintball in Austin. We've got Jordan Avila, Sergio Avila, Joshua Bernhard, Joseph Black, Talon Bourne, Jaden Boynton, Richard Demas, Jose Perez, and Amri Valdez, with Mark Hernandez, Scott Lopez, and Tanner Monson on staff. Another Austin Oni team. Yeah, I know that they were kind of middle of the pack last event after coming off of a quarterfinals exit at the first one. So let's see them bounce back here.
Yeah, they're sitting at 8th overall with a 123.11. They had a 7th, and then they dropped to 18th. So again, one bad event could kill you, but one good event might save you. Mm-hmm. And again, middle of the pack, sitting at number 8.
All right. Up next, we've got 210 Countdown. We've got Trevor Bettis, Jordan Clayton, Nathaniel Coronado, Adrian Duran, Rylan Homier, Aiden Homier, Elijah Reisberg, and Finn Zerudo, with Paul Homier, Zach McIntyre, and Jimmy Roman on staff. 210 Countdown has been quite the big program for D5 and D6 players in San Antonio, and I would like to see that 210 Countdown improve upon that 20th place that they got at the last one here on their home turf.
Yeah, 210 Countdown a couple of years ago when they had another line that was playing, I believe, in D4, they were consistently, top 5 team, always in it. Countdown, 210 Countdown, and what was the other one? Countdown City. So, yeah, a 20th finish is not the greatest, but still, they skipped the first event, so they're sitting at 26 overall. But now they're just trying for pride and maybe try to win an event.
Oh, yeah. All right. Up next, we've got the Lady Meanies with Cheyenne Gutierrez, Patrick Shinsky, Heather Linero, Kira Lytle, or Tiffany Morris, Jaden Ortega, Caitlin Riggs, David Stamey, and Leroy Woollett. So it looks like the Lady Meanies have made some additions to their roster in order to be a little bit more competitive at this one.
Yeah, they were struggling to keep a full female roster because with the Beefy Babes and the Dallas Dolls and the TKO Bellatrix, they were all kind of interchangeable. So they just, you know what? We're going to get our regular ladies, and then we're going to add a couple of guys, and we're going to build them up. They were in 25th place?
They finished
26th.
last at the last event, but I believe that was their first D5 X-Ball. Yeah, it was their first event in X-Ball. So now that they have that under their belt and they understand a little bit more what's required as far as their processes in the pits goes, I think they can bounce back much, much stronger and be much more prepared.
And Kyra Light, she's pretty good, but then what they do have is they have a returning Cheyenne Gutierrez. And Cheyenne took about a year off, had a baby, dropped a bunch of the baby weight, and now she's making a comeback. So I would hazard to guess that they're going to be pretty decent this event.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, and finally in Division 5, we've got Team Misfits out of Killeen, also calling Outlaw Paintball their home. You've got Corey Baldega, Tyler Hand, Bryce Juries, Timothy Juries, Troy Langston, Luis Lebron, Axel Leon, and Jordan Medford with Tate Estrada as their coach. The Misfits, old name, and they just kind of came out of the blue and said, hey, we're back. We're going to sign up for this one. So even though they have yet to play an event this year, respect this team.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody that's been around Texas paintball any time other than, say, 3 years, you got to kind of know the Misfit name. I mean, it's one of those team names that's been around forever through 10 different incarnations. So I'm looking for this one. Louis LeBron, I know him from a team called We Different. So, I'm looking, this ought to be pretty good. I'm hoping they represent the name well.
For sure. All right. So that is all 30 Division 5 teams. And we're going to try to speed this up here. So we've got, now this one's brought to us by the San Antonio 3v3 series. Oh, I see Archie Montemayor is giving me a call. Sorry, Archie, I'll have to give you a call back. So this one brought to us by the San Antonio 3v3 series. Let's go over our predictions. Or actually, sorry, we just did the ones by San Antonio 3v3 series. This one's brought to us by BEMRAP. So our predictions in each bracket. Robert, let's go ahead and give us the top 2 out of each bracket, because as we can see, they're not taking any wild cards.
They're not taking it. Well, no, they can't. I mean, you got so many brackets and so many people. So this is win or go home. In bracket A, actually, I'm going to go with Elite Dynasty, and I'm going to skip over Corrupt Crew and pick the Gunners 187. I think that's going to probably be one of the tougher brackets, because you got Corrupt Crew, you got Elite Factory Red, but I'm picking Gunners and Elite Dynasty D-File.
Yeah, I'm going to have to echo that. Elite Dynasty, the 1 seed overall, they are definitely the favorites coming out of this one. I mean, there's going to be some good teams going home in prelims with them not taking any wild cards, but I would have to go with Gunners 187 as my second pick, but be on upset alert from the Corrupt Crew.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, every time we do this, there's always a team that comes out of nowhere and surprises us. There's always an upset. And it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's not about being right. I like to see upsets. I like to be surprised, because every time I learn something. So, but that's my picks.
All right.
Bracket B.
Bracket B, yeah. We've got the Donut Shop Mafia D5, Low Expectations, Austin Notorious FSU, Cerberus Paintball, and the Houston Hitters. Robert, what are you thinking here?
Donut Shop Mafia D5 and Austin Notorious FSU. I think they're going to return to their winning ways. I'm going to be looking out for Cerberus just to play upsetter, but that's my guess.
I think TDSM D5 by a mile in the top seed. And then the second seed is, I would say, look for Low Expectations to potentially make a Sunday here. I think that Austin FSU, they've been consistently 14th place at both events. But yeah, I just have a feeling that Low Expectations could put it together, make another Sunday after getting a 5th place.
Yeah, I picked Austin Notorious just because I think their deep roster is going to help them going forward in the weather conditions. And I think other teams are going to cramp up. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Fair enough. In bracket C, we've got Sinister Paintball, Double Homicide, the Donut Shop Mafia, D5 Sprinkles, Brew Crew, and LA Extreme. So a lot of Houston teams and a lot of like newer teams in here with LA Extreme and Brew Crew, their first event registered. And then I think Double Homicide did one. Yeah, they did. They got 3rd at the last one. And then you've got, of course, my favorite team name, Donut Shop Mafia Sprinkles. But Brew Crew and LA Extreme coming in as unknowns.
Yeah, this one is going to be Sinister Paintball and Double Homicide. I'm secretly, silently kind of wishing for TDSM D5 Sprinkles, just because I want to see them on Sunday so that I can say it on live on the air. You know, you just got sprinkled. But but I think it's going to be Sinister and Double Homicide, just because with Brew Crew and LA Extreme being new teams, I think they're going to kind of get walked over, and it's going to, it's going to be who do you beat head to head. So that's going to be the interesting part.
Yeah, I do think it's also going to be Sinister and Double Homicide, although LA Extreme, with them being an unknown, we'll see how their first game goes. Because if they come out strong, then it could be cause for some shakeup there.
Could be.
All right, up next, bracket D, we've got the Meanie 71, Texas Rampage, Splat Houston, Slow Down, I'm Hungover, and the SA Sucios. So for this one, I'll go first here. I'm going to put the Meanies back on top. They've been super consistent, and I think when there's not taking any wild cards, consistency and playing mistake-free is very, very valuable. So give me the Meanies, and I think in the second seed, I'm gonna call for Splat Houston, being coached by Lawson Benedict, to take the 2 seed here.
Oh, okay. Well, I agree with the Meanies. I think being consistent is a key factor. I think they're going to be it. It's a coin toss for me on whether Texas Rampage can stay penalty free or Splat Houston. So I'm going to go, just to be contentious, I'm going to pick Texas Rampage. I'm going to hope and pray they play a little bit penalty free and they take that one.
Fair enough. All right, up next. We've got bracket E with Elite Factory, Shut Up, They're Trying, PB Gateway V3, Austin Oni Black, and San Antonio Static. So up here, I'm going to go with Elite Factory. And out of the second seed, that kind of is up in the air for me, with Shut Up, They're Trying being pretty middle of the pack all year long. I think Oni could take it. I think PB Gateway could take it as well. But I want to hear what you say before I make my pick for the second seed.
Well, obviously I'm picking Elite Factory going up, and then I'm just because I know them a little better. I think it's a toss up between Shut Up and Austin Oni Black, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe between Gold and Black, the Austin Oni guys have kind of, instead of having one good team and one weaker team, they've kind of spread their better players out between 2 teams and try to have 2 decent teams. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to hurt them. So I'm going to pick Shut Up just because I'm more familiar with them.
I think I'm going to go with Austin Oni here.
Yeah, I mean that's not it's not a bad choice. I mean, it's really not.
All right, and finally in bracket F, we've got Texas Easy Company, Austin Oni Gold, 210 Countdown, Lady Meanies, and the Texas Misfits. This is going to be a very, very difficult one to predict. I do think the Texas Misfits are going to make it out of this bracket. But the question is, who's going to be the other team? I don't know if, Texas Easy Company, they are the 1 seed out of this, but they've got a 12th and a 9th overall. Austin Oni Gold have a 7th and an 18th. 210 Countdown are they are much, much lower. They only played 1 event and they got 20th. Lady Meanies, they got last at the last one, but are bringing in a lot of extra help this time. And then Texas Misfits, coming in for the first time, but a legendary name, or not a legendary. I don't know if legendary is quite the right word, but they are.
If you've been playing 20 plus years, it's a legendary name. I think it's safe to say that.
Fair enough. All right. So I'm going to say Texas Misfits and Austin Oni Gold are going to be my 2 teams.
Whew. I believe, like you do, I think the Texas Misfits are going to kind of surprise people. I don't think anybody's going to give them any credit, and I think they're going to surprise them. Now, I'm going to take Texas Easy Company, again, to be contentious, just because I think it's a coin flip between those Austin Oni Golds and Easy Company.
Fair enough. All right. So that we are through one of our 4 divisions. Granted, that was the largest. That was the largest division, but we're gonna try to speed it up. So up next to cover the Division 4 brackets and rosters, we got brought to us by Mariachi Aguilas de Oro. So Robert, D4 again. We said that Louisiana made their mark at the last event, but I think that the brackets are lining up pretty interesting. I mean, we've got 4 brackets with 6 teams in it, and they're only taking 2 wild cards total.
Yeah, that's man. You'd think with all these teams, you'd like, oh, they're going to take more and more wild cards, but man, they're really not, because again, you don't need to. I mean, they're taking 12 teams plus 2 wild cards, right? So that's 14 teams going to the playoffs. That's almost that's half the field.
Yeah, it's usually around the top 40% that move on to the playoffs. So there's definitely room for heartbreak if a lot of these 16 brackets have a lot of 3-way ties at 3-1. Ooh, man.
That's the thing that's going to really be bad is you play so hard to get to Sunday, and then you get to Sunday and there's no ducks left, and you lose in the first round, and now you're going home. You stayed a whole extra day just to play that one game. It's hard. It's hard on your heart.
Yep. Well, this is Texas. So get ready. All right, y'all. So starting off with LA Extreme D4, our defending champions. We've got, or sorry, not our defending champions as far as the winner from the last event, but they are the current 1 seed overall. But they are the players are Neil Bourne, Adrian Jackson, Seth Lalou, Conrad Pellerin, Carson Pellerin, Jared Fan, Gurjeet Sandhu, Quentin Stevenson, and Colin Waltz with Josue Hernandez as their coach.
This is a team that just finds a way to win. I watched him play the Sunday stuff at the last event, and while there was a lot of Louisiana teams in the Final Four, I felt like these guys were the ones that just kind of held on, stayed in the fight, never let it get away from them, and then find a way to win at the end. I don't think they really separated themselves from the top 5 much, but they found a way to win and take away the money. So, I mean, congrats to them, and I look for them to be kind of the same.
Alrighty. Up next, we've got Houston Homicide with Robert Bolin, Christian Cash Cavazos, Timothy Curtis, Hudson Dunphy, Ty Garcia Reed, Noe Lopez, Cliff Shivers, and Kyle Wren, with Tristan Broussard, Isaac Hernandez, Jesus Oliveras, and Alex Perez on staff, and Joshua Navarro as their coach. Getting Hudson as a ringer on this one is going to be a big help.
Came right straight from Evil, and that's a ringer. And I think that last time at the last event, not to keep kicking a dead horse, but Houston Homicide, they'd have a really good point that flashes of brilliance followed by just stumbling and tripping over their own feet, and they couldn't separate themselves from the pack. So if they can get a little more consistent, and I think Hudson helps them here, I think they're going to be the team to beat in this bracket.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, they got back-to-back 14th places, so usually good enough to make Sunday. But man, this is going to be a tough one to make Sunday in. So we'll see if bringing in that extra muscle is going to put them over the edge. Okay. Up next, we've got Elite Hate Crew from Lubbock. We've got Adrian Berry, Riley Coffey, Gunnar Dodson, Jordan Fellon, Mitchell Gallagher, Ethan Lawhon, Todd Miller, and Ashton Wright. Ashton, speaking of bringing in some big muscle here on this one, Elite Hate Crew bringing in a ringer of their own.
Again, another team from Elite up there in Lubbock, and they got really cool red jerseys. Not that I would ask them for one. Hint, hint, hint. But these guys played really, really tough at the last event. They kind of lived up to their name, Hate Crew. They played, to me, they were kind of trying to bully people. Some people they got away with it. Some people they didn't. So I look for it to, not be too bad.
Oh, yeah. And then with bringing Ashton in, who is not just playing on the Clutch City Oilers, but I believe is also making an appearance with Team USA this year. Look for Ashton to make a key difference on the field.
I agree.
Okay, up next, we got the Corrupt Crew from Carlsbad, New Mexico. You got Jared Bryant, Chance Cosgray, Israel Esparza, Jairo Guerrero, Alexander McDougall, Bryant Mendoza, Cesar Navarro, and Isaiah Williams, the Corrupt Crew out of New Mexico. The earlier events this year, they got a 20th and a 33rd place. So they're definitely needing to turn it around at this event.
Yeah, they came in with a lot of hype. Like, this is the big team from New Mexico. And actually, I think their D5 in New Mexico Corrupt Crew did a little better than them. So I'm interested to see, did they go home and lick their wounds and try to get better? Or are they just going to come out here and do the same old same? Honestly, I don't know, but I'm here for it.
Alrighty. Up next, we've got the Texas Titans. They are making their first entry into D4 this year. Actually, did they play the last one in D4? They did play the last one in D4, and they got 16th place. And so out of X Factor Paintball in San Antonio, Texas, we have Orlando Escobedo, Isaiah Carnes, Michael Lundgren, Brandon Lyons, Cody Martinez, Damon Rippey, Colton Russell, Zechariah Shilley, and Dane Webb, and of course coached by Dylan Strickland.
Well, I will defer talking about the Texas Titans to Mr. Titan himself. Go ahead and give us some history on these guys.
So this team, as a bottom seed in your bracket, you drew a really unlucky bracket. That's all I'm going to say about that. You've got Michael Lundgren, who was on our D3 line, now our D2 line. He took a break after an injury, as well as having twins. So now he's playing his first event back, getting back into the swing of things. So Texas Titans bringing in a ringer of their own to help lead the charge on this field. I think having that ninth body, especially one with as much experience and winning experience as Michael, is going to be a huge help for them.
And I think actually having Dylan Strickland as a coach is going to be a beneficial thing to them too.
Definitely. All right. Up next, we've got LA Extreme D4 Black, the winners from last event. You've got Jalawerence, Andrews, Johnny Zinziluski, Robert Jensen, Guy Jones, Logan Laborde, Grayson Manning, Justin Mattern, Dakota Medina, Chad Mosby, and John Valero, with Minnie McConnell on staff and coached by Paul Heads. These are the defending champions.
Yeah.
What else can you say?
And again, just like the other LA Extreme team, they hung around, found a way to win, found a way to lose, found a way to come back and win when it counted on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So again, it's a mirror image of their other team. Actually, one of the better games of the day was between the two LA Extreme teams, when they just went out there and did that brother thug it up thing where they just beat the crap out of each other. I enjoyed it, and I look for more of the same.
All righty. Up next, Austin Hype out of Outlaw Paintball. You've got Boney Alba, Eric Gonzalez, Joseph Hernandez, Devin Johnson, Miles Jones, LaPaul McAllister, Trevor Merkel, Adam Brudisil, and Justin Vasquez. Austin Hype has been one of those teams that have kind of been on, like, just right there. If they can tighten up just a little bit, maybe avoid some penalties here and there, they can really break into those late Sunday rounds.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I was really disappointed with the way Hype performed at the last event, only because back when it was, if I'm not mistaken, some of these guys used to play for Austin Weird, Austin Hype. It's kind of all that Austin team. They all kind of interchange. But I was really looking forward to these guys because I know where they can be, and they just haven't quite lived up to their potential yet. Do I think they can? Absolutely. I just, like you said, I think they're missing whatever that one little piece is. I don't know what it is, because I'm not that familiar with their system, but I think this has a potential to be a huge spoiler right here.
Yeah, potentially. This team came out of the ashes of the Austin Hypnotic camp when they made their split between Austin Hype and Cap City Charge, were kind of the two main split offs. So these guys are right there, and some of them, being on that Hypnotic team, have some gold medals sprinkled in here and there because of the Austin Hypnotic standard of being middle to upper echelon, and then coming in and winning the series finale. So let's see if they can do it one event sooner this time.
Let's hope so.
All right, up next, we've got Greed out of Texarkana. You've got Jason Bonner, Jeffrey Green, Chris Odom, Christopher Rivas, Jason Sim, Alex Sparacio, Lucas Weeks, and Logan Williams, with Scotty Allen and John Samuel on staff. So Greed has been in a bit of a rebuild since the major split after that big year in Bunkerfest where they fielded 2 D3 lines with Greed and Avarice. Since then, they have not quite gotten back to the level that they were.
No, and it's always hard for somebody to lose, 60, 70% of your team, especially a lot of the talent at that time, or a lot of the upper talent. And it's hard to go back in and get people to come play with you again, try to get them and rebuild. And, it's not something you can just snap your fingers. Now, Christopher Rivas came over from Team Blank. Chris Odom, obviously everybody knows who he is, a natural athlete, professional football player. Jason Bonner's been around forever, 20-plus years. If there's bunkers he can play on his feet, you're in trouble because he's got a nasty shot, and he builds teams. Is he there yet? I don't think so. But he's got Logan Williams, and he's got Jason Sim, and I think before the end of the year, you're going to see them in the top 3.
Okay, fair enough. All right, up next, we've got the Dragoons out of X Factor Paintball Park. You've got Garrett Gamboa, Enrique Garcia, Michael Gomez, Luis Hernandez, Jacob Johnson, Hayden Mays, Corey Merck, Braylon Moreno, Taco Moreno, and Tanner Schlatter, with Leo Carbajal, Julian Cruz, and Thomas Fichter on staff, and then myself as the coach once again.
Yeah, good team. The Dragoons was a team 5-6 years ago when it was the AXBL. The USXBL was starting. It was under previous ownership. And I'd go to the USXBL to play. I always hated to play the Dragoons because they're bullies. Let's call it what it is. They're bullies, And I mean that in a good way. I mean, you had to go out there. You were never given anything. You always had to earn it. So, and I look for this team, especially with their coach, who I hear is kind of a jerk, to be the same kind of way.
Well, I can tell you that this team was 1 point away from making Sunday at the last one, and if we had that 1 point difference, we would have knocked out New Orleans Smoke, who ended up taking second place at the event. So, right on the cusp there of a really top finish. So look for the Dragoons, especially with adding Enrique Garcia to our line to make some improvements in the 16 bracket.
So how upset was their coach after missing by 1 point?
A little bit, just a little bit,
just a little bit.
Yeah, definitely more than a little bit. But I think we've been working on some stuff to improve our finish at this one. All right, up next, we've got Cold Blooded out of Bryan, Texas, coached by Clint Johnson. That's a big pickup for them. So we've got Jackson Barfnecht, Perry Chance, Clemente Crispin, Isaiah Leha, Isaac Leha, Joseph Miranda, Oliver Norris, and Macho Phillips, with Jason Carter and Chesney Hurley on staff.
Now, I have guested with this team a couple of times. Some of their roster is intermixed with the Texas A&M X-Ball team. They used to have Mark Johnson was affiliated with them loosely, and they decided they wanted a full-time coach, and they picked up Clint Johnson. Now, at the XTPL, they just picked him up. He's not yet had a chance to do with it. They struggled. I believe they finished last in their bracket or whatever. I don't think that's indicative of how Cold-Blooded plays. Perry Chance, the owner, does a great job with these guys. But right now, I think until they get some practice in and Clint has a chance to put his stamp on them, I'm looking probably middle of the pack, probably upper middle, to be honest. Even though I love these guys, but I'm just being honest.
Yeah, well, we'll see. They finished middle of the pack at the first one, went pretty far down at the second event, but Clint Johnson, definitely a great name to have in your corner.
Yeah, and Clint Johnson just needs some time to learn how these guys, what their abilities are, how he can utilize them and put his fingerprints all over them. But he walked into the last event and kind of unknowingly just said, hey, let me see what I can work with here. And it's a learning process, and I think they're going to go far as long. He signed on for the season, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in the next two events.
Fair enough. All right, up next, we've got Low Expectations D4. Out of St. Hedwig, Texas, we've got Regiano Delgado, Connor Hildebrand, Yoon Lee, Nathaniel Reyes, Anthony Reyes, Derek Canberg, Wayne Worsham, and Sasha Zucker making his return to the field.
Say it ain't so. Sasha's on the house. Oh, well, you know what? I'm picking these guys just because they got Sasha. I mean, come on. How can you not pick them, right? I mean, Sasha's like the 1v1 king, right? Mr. Ion, king of the 3v3. Yeah, let's go. I like these guys.
Yeah, I am glad that I'm coaching this event because for whatever reason, Sasha just has my number every now and then whenever it comes down to a one-on-one. So, yeah, I'm just happy that I'm holding the clipboard.
There's a secret. He cheats.
All right. Well, Sasha's here in the chat. So, Sasha, if you can confirm or deny these cheating allegations from Mr. BCIT himself.
I would know.
All righty. Up next, we've got the Gunners out of San Antonio. You've got Antonio Fernandez, Tim McGregor, Nicholas McKenna, Brian Padilla, Rafael Rivera, Shane Scarborough, Corey Sepulveda, and Kelson Walker. With on staff, you've got Arthur Faison, Aaron Scholl, Jesse Stevens, and Brian Sweet. This is a team that just came off of a third-place finish in Cincinnati.
And I look for this team to do very, very well. Number one, it's the Gunners. They have a history of winning podiums. That's a given. But then they have Jesse Stevens, who I think is probably one of the most underrated local paintball pros as far as paintball IQ goes. I know he's not as well known as some of the other people locally, but honestly, I think that's a great coach for these guys.
Absolutely. And the Gunners, they won the first event, but then they had a very uncharacteristic Ocho Finals exit in the Lone Wolf Open. So let's see. I definitely expect them to get back to their standard of winning.
Yeah, and we all know that the paint breaks funny sometimes. It's layout dependent, weather dependent, who shows up, who had an erroneous leg muscle cramp, or who got the penalty at the wrong time. Once you get to Sunday, it's one and done. You lose, you go home, and everybody wishes they could have that one game back.
Alrighty. Up next, we've got Outlaw Anodizing Green from Houston. You've got Luis Ayala, Kyle Fink, David Harden, Cooper Harrison, Rodolfo Jimenez, Henry Gnabel, Trenton Martin, Tyler Middleton, Caleb Owens, Dom Rivera, and John Schalf, with Philip Middleton and Cedric Rios on staff.
Yeah, this one right here, Outlaw Green, they got a 16th, but then they moved up to 6, right? So they were making strides up the chain, but we'll see how this goes because to me they're hit and miss. To me it's which Outlaw Green is going to show up.
Really absolutely. Outlaw, they're a huge program over in Houston. They got a lot of support. We'll see how hard they've been working over there. Up next, we've got Countdown City out of San Antonio. We've got Cody Cawley, Brandon Day, Jonathan Gager, Jacob Hurst, Kyle Kennedy, Alex Navarro, Joshua Oliva, Jimmy Roman, Robert Stewart, and Aaron Williams with Ryan Berry on staff. We'll see if this main countdown line can improve upon their last event where they started off in 7th place, so a really good start for them, but then dropping all the way to 29th in the Lone Wolf Open.
Yeah, dropping to 29th. I mean, you start 7, that's presentable. I mean, you're in the top 10 within striking distance, first event, not a bad start, right? You had the winter off or whatever, but then to drop all the way to 29th, it makes me wonder what was different. Who didn't, did they not have a couple of key people? Was it injuries? I mean, what was going on? Because that's uncharacteristic for this particular team.
Yeah, well, I definitely am looking for them to bounce back here. Up next, we've got Austin Notorious D4, coached by Marky Franz. We've got Bart Bachniak, Dennis Britton, Francisco Gio Cardiel, the Boogeyman, Alex Carrion, Leslie Cluis, Chris Isaacs, and Timothy Ray with Mark France Sr. on staff. If you're playing this team and you don't put 5 guns on Leslie Cluis off the break, expect her to be in your snake within the first 30 seconds.
And if you do put 5 guns on her, then you got to deal with the boogeyman. This right here is a wealth of talent. If you're not familiar with who these people are, pray you're not in their bracket, because you'll be really familiar with them, because they're going to be up in your grill. I promise you.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that might plague Austin Notorious is who's going to be the next man up. I mean, they've got 7 players on their roster. That's not a whole lot of room for error. So make sure that your cardio and your stamina, and you're taking care of yourself heading into the event.
Absolutely, but I know the boogeyman's not going to get tired, barring some freak accident. And I don't think Leslie Clueless is going to get tired either, because she's a machine. She's literally a machine.
Oh, yeah. Up next, we've got the Meanies with Leonardo Alvarez, Matt Bullion, Colby Klaus, Carson Martin, Mark Mercer, Kevin Miller, Laird Schmaltz, and Tanner Shue.
These guys, these guys, they literally started pointing up. They're like, hey, you know what? We're going to go play D4. We're fixed to point out anyway. We're not waiting till the end of the year. Let's just go. Tanner Shue, Mark Mercer, 2 of the kind of cornerstones of this team. Wade Martin's kid, Carson, he's going to be a player. Not there yet, but he's going to be a player. But I think they're going to probably be around 6 to between 10 and 6, somewhere around in there. That's where they're going to, the upper middle.
All right. Well, we shall see, because they are coming off of a 31st and then a 26th place. So definitely a lot to improve upon there. Up next, we've got Team Anonymous out of Laredo. We've got Thomas Colombo, Donovan Dobbins, Arnaldo Hinojosa, Oscar Lopez, Cristobal Molina, Osvaldo Ramirez, Justino Sanchez, Derek Simon Jr., JJ Solis, and Daniel Wise, with Jared Castillo, Christopher De La Rosa, and Marcus Santiago on staff. And they're coached by my teammate, Leo Lamas from the Texas Titans.
Well, I'm familiar with their coach, but other than that, they're all anonymous to me. So, I really don't know anything about these guys out of Laredo.
Yeah, Anonymous is a team that's kind of come in and out in the scene over the years. Definitely a pretty decent name, pretty good talent that has come out of the Anonymous camp. This is their first time competing in the USXBL this year, but I think picking up Leo as a coach is a fantastic move for them.
Oh, I agree there. I think that's a great coach, So, and they got a deep roster, so they're already 2 up right there. They got a deep roster. They got a good coach. So now all they got to do is show up and play.
Absolutely. All right. Up next, we've got OKC Mutiny with Gabriel Cornwall, Jonathan Gilliand, Mitchell Higgs, Jaden Miller, Jacob Thomas, Zachary Wasser, with Kyler Higgs and Brittany Miller on staff, and coached by Corey Field. That's a massive pickup for Coach.
Man, I'm really impressed with the OKC Mutiny. I'm impressed with their program. Mutiny's a good program. Up in Oklahoma, they got Senate, and they got the Bricktown Bucks, and they got some other programs. But OKC Mutiny is probably going to be one of the more consistents. But getting Corey Field as a coach, the level of IQ he's going to bring. Now, if he's talking pro language and they're understanding D4 language, how does that translate? That's going to be the challenge. Can he communicate to them in a way that he's not talking above them? Not intentionally, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, with a coach like Corey Field, who has such a wealth of experience coaching divisional teams, both in Texas and in the WCPPL, I think that's not going to be an issue.
Well, then that's great then, because that's a heck of a pickup. I really do.
All right, up next, we've got Austin Assault with Matthew Bandow, Zachary Hagee, Joel Hoffman, Kobe Johnson, Brian McGrath, Matthew Odom, Jordan Reese, and Sean Serene, with Ashlyn Hoffman and Connor Sanders on staff. Austin Assault has been a team that's been really, really good in Division 4, but not quite breaking into the top 4. So I know they've been working really hard. They went from 13th at the first event to 5th place at the Lone Wolf Open. Can they break into the semifinal round?
I hope so. Just so, shout out to Austin Assault and my boy Bondo. They seem to think that I don't like them for some reason. I mean, just because, like, during the Texas NXL Rain Festival, they beat the pants off of me on, live on the webcast. No, I'm not bitter at all. So I hope they do well, but they did really well last time, and shout out to my boy Bondo.
All righty. Up next, we've got Havoc out of San Antonio with Donald Bynum, Ryan Cox, Kellen Jones, Cody Kipp, Tanner Pagel, Travis Patton, Diego Robinson, Ben Rogers, and Steven Swope. So Havoc has been a team that I think a lot of people have been hyping up, and they've kind of been middle of the pack this year.
Yeah, that's the thing is I remember the last event, they came in and everybody, literally walking around talking to people for the event, a name you heard a lot was Havoc. But a 15th and a 20th, I don't know. They didn't live up to it, but, maybe it's a different Havoc. I don't know. But there's, that's why we play the game. If everybody that won was supposed to win, we wouldn't have to play the game. So we'll see how they do this time. I hope they can live up to their hype.
Yeah, very true. All right. One thing I will say is that it looks like they don't have Jared Sherman listed for their coach at this event. So we'll see if Jared is actually going to be with them or if there's a change there.
I think it's a mistake if you don't have Jared Sherman on your team, in your pits, or on your coach. Any way you can be connected to him is a good thing. That is a wealth of knowledge.
Definitely. All right, up next, we've got Shut Up, We're Trying with Matthew Ahrens, Tyler Ashworth, Brandon Daniel, Taylor King, Matthew Kress, Jarek Lewis, Paul Mart, Robert Ortiz, and Zach Rosen with, of course, Coach Jerry Phillips.
And again, this team is hit or miss, and it's literally just, do they decide to show up and play? Taylor King has great ability. I have to cheat him all the time every time I play him in a tournament because he's always trying to overshoot me. Paul Mart recently just shot me point blank in the back when he was on my team. So I'm not bitter about that. But I think that they're missing a couple of key players. But Paul in the middle, Taylor on the Dorito side, they're going to do well. I just don't know if they can quite make deep into Sunday.
Well, we'll see. They've been pretty middle of the pack all year.
And that's probably where they're going to wind up being now, just because I think they're a player or two short. The thing is with Jerry's team and Shut Up is he brings them in at D5, he coaches them up, they start doing well at D4, and then these other teams come cherry pick their players. I mean, it's really, I can't tell you the number of people that he's had, I won't say stolen, but they've left the team for other greener pastures, other places, instead of just sticking it out and learning to win with Jerry.
All right, well, we'll see if they can improve upon that. Up next, we've got Elite Dynasty out of Houston, Guadalupe Aleman, Eduardo Conde, Colton Guerra, Roman Kropp, Marcus McClam, Victor Millan, Brooks Price, Terrence Williams, and Quentin Wilsford. Let's see if Elite Dynasty, a team that's been very quickly getting more and more involved. They've been playing the San Antonio 3v3 Open Division, and now they're here playing D4X Ball. They have a 33rd and a 28th place coming out of Houston. So let's see if they can improve. Up next, Robert, are you there? Oh, looks like we lost Robert. We'll continue going while he gets back in here. Robert, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It just froze for a second.
All good. You got anything to say on Elite Dynasty?
Just Elite Dynasty's been middle lower pack, and that's probably where they're going to stay right now. I don't see them making any big changes, but we'll see. But I figure they're probably going to be consistently where they were.
Alrighty. Up next, we got the Donut Shop Mafia D4. Again, out of El Paso. Again, small line here. You got Isaac Avalos, Tony Diaz, Michael Diaz-Harbic, Daryl Lewis, Sebastian Ochoa, and Jaime Sapien. So only 6 players. That is going to be a very interesting approach here.
Yeah, and I get it. Sometimes you can't get the number of people that you want, but 6 people in D4 is kind of a mistake. So, but I'm always rooting for every Donut Shop Mafia team. So let's go, guys.
Yeah, for sure. And this is their first event in D4 this year. So let's see how they break out onto the scene. Up next, we've got Houston Zone Kids. This team was the lone Texas team in the top 4 last event. You've got Christopher Cormier, Robert Guerra Jr., Michael Gutierrez, Furman Hernandez, Nolan Hua, Avant Knight, Ethan Murrell, and Nicholas Nira, with Rob G on staff and coached by James Bull Godfrey.
Yeah, and Houston's Own Kids, the one saving grace for Sunday and the Texas teams, and I look for them to be in the top 4 again this time. I don't think anything's going to change. These kids are pretty good. They really are.
They really are. All right, up next we got the GNL crew, another Gunners line out of X Factor. Alex Amos, Cameron Blanco, again making his return. Jamari Faison, Rylan Fontana, Michael Leon Guerrero, Ashton Roller, Robert Shelton, and Justin Vasquez, with Eric Amos, John Butler, Arthur Faison, Brian Padilla, Corey Sepulveda, and Jesse Stevens on staff. Another Gunners line. You've got Cameron Blanco. You've got Jesse Stevens. I think the sky's the limit for this crew.
I absolutely do too. And again, Cameron Blanco, for those of you who's been around for a couple of years, the phenom, the 3.5 foot tall phenom, but now he's getting a little older, he's getting a little bigger, but he's still pretty good. So I think you need to watch out for him. And again, Jesse Stevens, it's a Gunners line. They're going to do well.
Definitely. Up next, we got PB Gateway V2 with Nick Philby, Josh Garza, Navaris Grant, Jaime Guevara Jr., Chris Harrison, Bryce Klein, Chloe Sereno, John Theodore, and Larry Tran, with Salvador Sermenio and Pritchard Switzonsuk on staff.
Yeah, PB Gateway V2 in the middle of a rebuilding year, but they're trying to get it there. Larry Tran's a good player. They're not where they were last year. They lost some people, cherry-picked to other teams. But that's life in the big city. It happens, and they're doing the best they can to move on. So I think they're going to be okay. I just think they're going to need at least another event before they get built back up to where they were.
Yeah, and going from 6th place all the way down to 31st, I think we'll definitely see them bounce back. Just the question is to what degree.
Yeah, the Lone Wolf Open was strange for a lot of teams. I don't want to say it was the layout, because the layout wasn't bad, but it was just really strange that we saw a lot of teams fall way far. I mean, they didn't fall a place or two. They, the teams that fell a long way. So, but now San Antonio, let's go get hot and let's see if we can.
Yeah, definitely. Up next, you got Austin Oney out of Outlaw Paintball in Pflugerville. You got Caleb Clough, Wyatt Zerlaben, Mark Hernandez, Tanner Hunt, Ryan Lyle, Caleb Morero, Cody Reef, and Ben Rogers, with Jordan Avila, Sergio Avila, Mikey Clough, Scott Lopez, Tanner Monson, and Jose Perez on staff. You got the main Austin Oney line. They've been pretty decent this year.
12th and 25, though. I mean, again, there's another team that fell, 13 places. And I know, Mikey or Tokyo, I know how hard he drills these guys. I know how hard he pushes these guys. I don't know why they struggled like in the last event like they did, but I guarantee you if he has anything to say about it, they're going to be back up and higher than they were before.
Definitely. They've definitely got it in them. Up next, we've got Countdown City 210 with Jad Alia, Daniel Estrada, Paul Goins, Paul Homier, Isaiah Ibarra, Chuck Neagle, Cesar Ortiz, Sterling Seymour, Cesar Zamora, and Martin Zapata, with Jimmy Roman on staff. Chuck Neagle being a big pickup for Countdown City.
The most dangerous man in paintball. You do not sleep on Chuck. I'm telling you right now. Daniel Estrada, kind of a wild card, kind of a loose cannon when he plays. Paul Goins, consistent. Not stellar, but not bad either. And then Sterling, again, Sterling's pretty fair player. So I think they can put 5 guys on the field, consistently to represent the Countdown City 210 really well.
Yeah, I hope so. They've been towards the bottom at both of these events, but especially with just Chuck Neagle alone, that's going to significantly elevate that.
Well, Chuck Neagle is going to play the home bunker, and he's going to make it very difficult for you to get out wide. He's going to be difficult. It really will.
All right, and finally, we've got the cold-blooded Pandas out of Bryan, Texas. You got Robert Allen, Zach Beavers, Maxwell Carter, Marco Garza, Rolando Garza, Justin Mushinski, Joshua Nelson, and Benito Ortiz. Cold-blooded team that you might see under the cold-blooded name. You might see under the Texas A&M name with some of their players. They've been getting as much experience as they can playing the three-man events, and now coming back here with their second line, the Pandas. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, they do pretty well at three-man, but with a 28th finish in the first USXBL this year and then skipping the last one, X-Ball seems to be a little foreign to them right now. Mm-hmm. But with experience, comes skill. So let's see if they can't step up their game and at least try to get some wins in here.
All righty. So that does it for all of the rosters and teams in D4. So now we're brought to us by Paintball Kumite. We're at the predictions part. So Robert, they do take 2 wild cards total out of these 5 brackets, which I think is totally unfair. But you know what? That's paintball. You got to get down to the number 1 team somehow. And to do that, you got to make cuts. So let's start off with bracket A. Give me LA Extreme and give me the Texas Titans.
I'm going to say give me because I think that's the sleeper team for sure.
Can you say that again? You kind of cut out there for a sec.
Yeah, give me the Texas Titans for sure. I think that's the sleeper team and LA Extreme D4.
All righty. Up next in bracket B, and also with this, Robert, feel free to just insert your 2 wild cards in any of the brackets at all. I think I've got my picks in mind. So bracket B, I'm going to take LA Extreme and I'm going to take the Dragoons.
I'm going to take LA Extreme and the Dragoons as well.
All right,
I'm going to take one of my wild card picks right now, and I'm going to say Greed.
All righty. Up and just a reminder, matchups matter. In these 16 brackets, 1 and 6 don't play each other, 2 and 5 don't play each other, and 4 and 3 don't play each other. So in this bracket, Greed does not play the Dragoons, Hype does not play Cold Blooded, and LA Extreme does not play Low Expectations. And then just same format with all of the other 16 brackets. So up in bracket C, we've got Gunners, Outlaw Anodizing Green, Countdown City, Austin Notorious D4, The Meanies, and Anonymous. For me, definitely the Gunners. I'm going to say, man, this one's a tough one, honestly. I'm going to say Austin Notorious D4, and then Anonymous, given that they don't play the Gunners and that they've picked up Leo as their coach, I'm going to put them as one of my wild cards.
Ooh, I'm going to take the Gunners and Austin Notorious D4 as well.
All right. So Robert hasn't picked any of his wild cards yet, so look for them here in these last 2 brackets. So bracket D, we've got OKC Mutiny, Austin Assault, Havoc, Shut Up or Trying, Elite Dynasty, and the Donut Shop Mafia D4. Man, this one is a lot of teams that I think have kind of been middle to upper middle of the pack that potentially could have a breakout event here. I'm going to go with OKC Mutiny, and I'm going to go with... I got to pick Austin Assault here, given their history and their trajectory. I think I'm going to pick my other wild card to come out of this bracket, and I'm going to pick... I think Havoc has it in them.
OKC Mutiny, Austin Assault. Yeah, and then, I'm just going to go ahead and pick a wild card here and say Shut Up or Trying.
All right. Yeah, definitely a difficult bracket to pick. And then finally, bracket E. We've got the Houston Zone Kids, the GNL Crew, PB Gateway V2, Austin Oni, Countdown City 210, and Cold Blooded Pandas. Zone and GNL Crew, I think that's rather straightforward pick here.
Yeah, Zone Kids, GNL Crew, absolutely straightforward. I think there's a slight chance Austin Oni could come in and play spoiler if somebody doesn't do what they're supposed to. But if everybody shows up and plays the game they're capable of, it's Zone Kids and Geno crew.
Alrighty. So now that does it for our picks in D4. Now we are here. We're already 2 hours in, and now we've got the most to talk about in this bracket is the Elite Division, which there have been quite a few changes if you have been following Facebook closely. There have been a lot of roster moves that we're going to be talking about.
There's been some. Honestly, this is not the same bracket that played the last event. It's completely different.
Oh yeah,
the names are the same, but the teams are not.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I think in this division it's still very much like there's a top couple of teams, top 4, top 5, and then there's a pretty decent sized gap for the rest of them.
Yep, and the top 3 in each bracket move on.
Oh yeah. So first we have the current first seed overall Gulf Coast Ragtag Army with Nathaniel Combs, Kyle Enriquez, Jet Isidro, Omar Montoya, James Rigsby, Alexis Rodriguez, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Matthew Strohmeyer, and Jonathan Turner with Cyrus Geringer, Alexia Oropeza, and Dan Strickland on staff. And they have Coach Bobby Sayedeth listed on here, but I think Cyrus is going to do a fair amount of that as well.
Well, I'm not sure if any of the fit guys, even though they're listed as coaches, are going to be there because Colt Lukow just got married and they're having a big.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know who's actually going to that and who's actually going to show up and coach. So that's an unknown. But again, you can't sleep on Ragtag. You got Combs, Jet Ski, and then Jonathan Turner. He told me earlier in a text earlier today. He's like, I've got a very deep D3, D2 roster. I can pull people from everywhere. I'm not going to show up with a bad team.
Yeah, and not to mention addition Omar Montoya, former Grit player, and also I believe the event that they did in Thailand earlier this year, he went over with Chris Rangel's squad and won that thing. So Omar's been staying busy.
Hey, it's a good job if you can get it.
All right, up next, you've got Team Evil. Which I think some of this these names here on this roster are not accurate from the news that I've heard. But if Justin Doman, if you're here in the chat, feel free to give us clarification or continue to give us misdirection. That's up to you. I would not be surprised if either came. So we've got Taylor Connor, Matthew Crowder, Justin Doman, Trent Dusek, Brandon Gallegos, Todd Morrow, Hogan Pearson, Taylor Retra, Tyler Spees, Luke Staley, and Jeremy Zimmerman listed here on the roster with Candace Doman and Daniel Estrada on staff and Coach Casey Harris.
Justin Doman is super big on, you call it misdirection. I just call it being full of bullshit. He'll put anybody that he's ever known on a roster and won't change it to the last minute. Some of the people on this roster I know are playing there, so I know Luke's playing there. I know that Jeremy Zimmerman's playing there. I know Taylor Connor's going to be there. Justin's going to be there, Matthew Crowder. But after that, it gets kind of in that iffy category.
Yeah, so from what I understand, Jeremy Zimmerman has broken his hand in Cincinnati.
He did.
But knowing Jeremy Zimmerman, that's not going to stop him. So
his quote to me was, "Yeah, it's broke. So what?"
That doesn't surprise me at all. I don't know about Tyler Spees' status, if he's going to be playing or not. I know he's been cited at X Factor doing some drills lately, so look out for that. I know Taylor Retra is making his return after I think a year off. And then another pickup that they have, they got Brandon Gallegos on loan from the Texas Titans D2 squad. So Brandon, he's one of our snake players, and I just want to give him a huge shout out real quick. He's been going through some serious health issues, and he has just made an incredible recovery, and paintball has been a huge motivating factor in directing that recovery. And throughout the whole process, he's just been like, all right, I just can't wait to get back on the field. And he's he is the most driven paintball player that I know. So look for Brandon to have a huge event here.
And that's going to be a heck of a 1-2 punch with Luke Staley and Brandon switching out on that snake, keeping fresh legs, fresh perspective. It's going to be a good. And the first match of the day, is Ragtag and Evil. So.
All right, and I actually just got some message here from Justin Doman. He says Tyler Speece is playing, Jeremy Zimmerman is playing. However, Taylor Retra and Matt Crowder will not be there.
Well, that sucks. I just played with Matt, so oh well.
All right. Well, still a very strong line coming into this one. I know Justin Doman doing everything out there to make sure he fields a very competitive line. Yeah, and if to be honest with you, if I was not already committed to coaching the Dragoons, you might have seen me on this roster.
Yeah, well, Casey's probably going to be down at the wedding too, so I don't look for him to be there. I'm sure that Justin's going to wind up coaching his team, but he will do a presentable job. And honestly, I have to root for this team even more than normal because my grandson's playing on this team.
Oh yeah,
Taylor Connor's my grandson, so I'll try to remain neutral.
No, you don't have to on this one. You root for your grandson. But yeah, Evil also coming off of a 3rd place finish at NXL Cincinnati. So let's see if they can keep that train rolling heading into San Antonio, where there are no easy games.
Stay away from those last-minute red flags, and you take the number 1 spot. The last couple events, the reason they haven't finished first is, an erroneous red flag.
Yeah. All right. So up next we've got Grit with Anthony Bosmans, Pierce Colmio, Kevin Doherty, Nick Gomez, Gabriel Hernandez, Aaron Hitchcock, Dallas Luke, Taylor Risenmay, John Trevino, and Ryan Wynn, with Anthony Bowles, John Otremba, and Brandon Peters on staff. Grit, another very consistent team. They've been together a long time. I know with this roster, I don't believe Kevin Doherty has been playing this year, so good to see him back. And then I know Anthony Bosmans has been dealing with a back injury, which I'm not sure if he's going to be able to play this one, and that is a huge loss because I know Anthony was not at the last event for them, and Grit definitely felt his absence.
Yeah, and Grit last year in San Antonio finished 2nd behind the Beefy Boys, and then they kind of struggled in the championships. Then, they had a 2nd place finish at the JT Open, the first event of this year. Then they turned around and dropped down to 8. So they're up and down. They're due, if you go by their recent history, they're due for an up. So, but again, Grit's from San Antonio, so let's see if they're more accustomed to playing in this weather.
Yeah, I can confirm that they have been working hard lately. So look for them to have a bounce back this event. Up next, we've got the Bearcats out of Louisiana. You've got Austin Arguelles, Dalton Ashley, Logan Heath, Matt Hodges, Connor Hodges, Nathaniel Newton, Jacob Plaisance, and Wesley Smith. One major name that you don't see on here, Justin Hodges. I think he's finally ranked out with all of those pro events under his belt. Huge loss for the Bearcats.
Yeah, that's a huge loss for them, and he pointed out. But with the Bearcats getting a 9th and 11th, even with Justin, it's going to be even more of a struggle to do better this time.
Yeah, especially in this bracket, which we'll go over in a little bit.
They're in a really bad bracket. But in Elite, there's really no good brackets.
No, I mean, there's only 2 of them. And it's either you're dodging one team or you're dodging the other team. You can't dodge everybody. So speaking of Elite, we have Elite with Lawson Benedict, Doug Bryant, Hunter Cherry, Kyle Coulter, Cal Leach, Chris Munoz, Perry Reed, Benji Schrader, Brandon Summers, and Connor Varley, with Chris Vandervald as their coach. So notable absence. You don't have Charles Dean here.
Charles Dean, he's not there.
But you do have Brandon Summers, who was a part of that that all-star squad that Austin Notorious fielded 2 years ago that went on that massive run of like 4 event wins in a row without dropping a single game. And then, of course, you've got Cal Leach, player formerly, I don't know if he's currently or formerly of the KC Missouri All-Stars, but some definite star power there. You've got Benji Schrader making his return here. So Elite, they had a great prelims and then a not so great finish to the tournament. But again, going from 15th to a top 4 is commendable, and I think this team is dangerous.
Oh, I agree. And Doug Bryant always fields good teams. He's always there. A couple years ago, you were there in San Antonio when Elite came out of nowhere and won. I mean, we were standing up there. I don't think either one of us had them picked to win it at the start. But by the end, we were both impressed. And I think Doug Bryant's going to field a dangerous team this time. But with some notable absences and some new add-ons, even though they're experienced, how well will they mesh? Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. All right. Up next, we have the Donut Shop Mafia with Abraham Apodaca, Renee Estrada, Christian Gonzalez, Victor Juarez, Jacob Ortega, Jacob Romero, Daniel Schobner, and Randy Singh with Daryl Lewis as their coach.
Yeah, and TDSM, they skipped the last event. They had an 11th place the first event. Last year at the championships, they did really well. I was really high on them coming into the first event.
I think they were D4 last year, right?
Yeah. And I mean, again, it steps up, but I saw a lot of brilliance in them. I thought I did. And with an 11th place finish, they a little bit underperformed. But then you start thinking about, well, who are they playing against? And they did make a step up. That's a pretty good finish. It really is.
Yeah. Even though it's D3, you've got so much talent in this division that are either current or former D2 players, current or former pros even in this division. So you got to beat them all.
And there are some D2 players currently that are playing in this division because it is steroided D3. It is the elite. And again, there's some guys that's been playing, 10, 15, 20 years out here. There's a lot of experience here.
Oh, yeah. Here in the chat, I want to highlight Nick Gomez from Grit says Anthony is good to go. So that's going to be a massive return. Anthony is definitely a player that gets a lot of production for Grit.
Yes, sir, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, up next, we've got the Bricktown Bucks out of Oklahoma City. You've got Sebastian Barahona, Christopher Davis, Derek Fine, Tyler Hitt, Adam Jester, Mason McIntosh, Ryan Powers, Landon Roney, Dennis Stevenson, and Aaron White with John Hubbard and Scott Stewart on staff. Bricktown has been they've been a team on the outside looking in this whole season, and I think that's kind of been the case for the last 2 years. I want to see them make some improvements, but it is just a very, very tough division.
16th and a 12th, and this is my sentimental favorite team. I love everybody up at the Avid group. John Hubbard and his whole crew are phenomenal, and I love to go up there. I love these guys. I would like to see them do better, but it's just hard. They have a hard time getting quality practices with other teams. The pickings are slim up in Oklahoma. They do play the Elite Series up there at Jake Dixon's place, but it's a different animal down here. The teams are better. Let's just be honest. The USXBL draws the best teams around. So keep my fingers crossed for the Bricktown to do a little bit better this event.
Yeah, and look at this bracket that they have. They play the Donut Shop Mafia, but then they have Elite, Gulf Coast Ragtag Army, and Evil.
Jesus.
That's a rough one.
I mean, really, it's daunting, but honestly, I think these guys will take a look at that schedule and they'll shrug their shoulders and go, ain't nothing but a thing. I don't think they're going to be worried about it. I think they're going to step to it. They're going to give it their all. I'm just not sure again, on any given Sunday, you can beat any one team, but can you beat that Murderer's Row? I don't know.
That's going to be a gauntlet for sure.
It is. It's a rough one.
All right, heading over into the other bracket to start, we've got the TKO Super Gremlins. The defending second place team, you've got Alex Augusto, Jace Boyd, Mark Brown, Milton Rivera, Malik Swahala, Omar Simmons, Jell Stewart, Peter Stokes, and Ernesto Vasquez, with Elliot Ocon on staff and Colt Lukow listed as their coach. We'll see if he makes the appearance, but congratulations, Colt.
Yeah, he's not going to, and Colt will definitely not be there.
Yeah, but if he values his life, he will not be there.
But they do have him for the coach for the year, so that's a standard listing. Ernesto, Jell Stewart, Omar Simmons. Omar's one of my favorite people to watch play. His IQ's really high. Jace Boyd has like minus 20 body fat on him. Oh my God, he is the most natural athlete I've ever seen in my life. Second last year championships, lost to the Beefy Boys. Second at the last event, lost to the Beefy Boys.
Knocked out the Texas Titans at the first one.
Last game of Saturday is TKO Super Gremlins versus the Beefy Boys. That's a way to end a day. I'm going to tell you right there. We start the day with a banger. We're going to end the day with a banger.
Oh, yeah. And I do think that not having Colt there is going to be a big hit for them. I think Colt is an incredible coach, does a lot for them, not just on the play calling, but also on the scouting side. They're going to have to pick up the slack if they're going to hope to have similar results.
Augusto told me they picked up somebody else, and it was in a passing conversation, and for the life of me, my old ass can't remember who they told me they picked up for a coach. But I remember going, oh, okay, not that much of a degrading. I think it's somebody pretty good. But if I told you, I'd be guessing right now because just for the life of me, I cannot remember who they picked up.
Yeah, well, at the same time, there's no replacing Colt Lukow.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, and especially since he has been their coach all year. He coaches them not only at practice but the XTPLs and at MECXs and stuff, so he knows who can do what. Besides the fact that his paintball IQ is off the chart, he knows that team, and I think that's a key factor.
Definitely. Up next, we've got the defending champions, the Beefy Boys, with AJ Abar, Corey Callahan, Cameron Peterson, Henry Portillo, Tyler Shepers, Joe Solomon, Patrick Simons, Will Weems, and Zach Turtle Wilkes, with Jonathan Chavez, Daniel Diaz Kirolo, Luke Puchalski, and Thorne Smith listed on staff, and Gabe Sutherland listed as their coach. I think Daniel was on their roster at the last one. Now it looks like he's just on staff. And I think there's been a few changes to some names here on the roster.
Yeah, Daniel's playing with the D2 line, I believe, now, and they picked up Smokey Joe for this event, and Corey, who plays, both of those guys play on their XTPL line. So they've kind of beefed it up a little bit. But, these, for the most part, Will Weems, Patrick, Turtle, Tyler, Cameron Peterson, who's the field captain, AJ, they were all on the last event roster. That's the winning guys, right? So I think it's going to be really good. And Gabe was their coach last time. He called the plays, and I look for him to do it again. So,
yeah, absolutely. Up next, we've got Balls Out. From the Valley, you've got Hector Andrade, Eric Contreras, Steven Enslow, Emmy Flores, Ian Galvan, Nathan Garcia, and Chance Weston. Balls Out. They've been a team that's kind of been on the bubble this year. They've been the gatekeepers, I'd like to call it. So they're good enough to beat everybody below them, but they're not quite there to beat anybody in the top 5 yet.
With a 6th and a 10th place finish, Balls Out. I kind of say this a lot when I'm doing the USXBL broadcast, is TKO Super Gremlins and Balls Out are two teams I feel like don't get any respect from the other teams on social media. People kind of go, oh, well, they're okay. I think these guys have the ability to be that team. They just haven't yet figured out what that missing piece is. But when they do, mark my words, look for Balls Out to be a wrecking ball to all the other teams. They're missing that one piece.
Yeah, I think losing Devin Lopez to being ranked out hurts them a lot. They still have Emmy Flores, getting Ian Galvan back in for this year has helped stabilize it a little bit, but losing Devin Lopez, he was kind of their key piece in previous years.
And that's the sad part about this. When you do well, well enough to score, losing players to, then you have to start all over. So if you don't have a Notorious or a Gunners thing where you have people coming up behind you that you can pull up and learn your style, every few years you're having to start over. And it's a never-ending cycle of mediocrity.
Yep. Well, we'll see if Balls Out can break into that top 5 here. Up next, we've got the BDC with Jared Bourgeois, Chaden Hoffpair, Matthew Jenkins, Alec Pisoni, Brandon Powell, Matt Pregel, and Colin Stewart, with Mark Boyd, Ben Challenger, Joseph Labastida on staff, and they have Trenton Mason Salinas listed as their coach. But again, we don't know, or probably none of these fit players are going to be here at this event.
Yeah, and BDC is a team, they do well at MECXs because they usually play as a group. They do well at the XTPLs usually, more often than not. Struggle at the USXBL. And I don't know what the difference is other than the fact that at some of the XTPLs you can have a high-ranked person play with you, and they'll usually have Trenton, or they used to have Scott Stewart play with them. And maybe that's the one piece that kind of helps them over the hump. I do know that Brandon Powell is a quality player. Colin Stewart is an up-and-coming player. Hopefully he'll be as good as his dad someday. Yeah, I said that, Colin. But they're, again, middle-of-the-pack team. They're just looking for that piece.
Yeah, for sure. Up next, we got Cap City Charge out of Outlaw. We got Donovan Chapa, Adam Dipple, David Helgeson, River Lacey, Colton McCoon, Morgan Mills, and Jameson Widener, with Gideon Dipple, Vicky Dipple, Joe Enzo, Bell Harris, and Nick Pashek listed on staff. This is a pretty much completely different line than what we saw at the last event. Cap City Charge only have, I think, 4 players returning from the last event, and the rest they picked up from Houston.
Yeah, and Cap City Charge made the jump from D4 up into the elite division, so it's already a step up. And now they're having to add players middle season. Rough road coming up for them, but props to them. Give them all the credit in the world for, not giving up and still staying the course. So let's wish them well.
Yeah, I think losing Enzo to his season-ending injury, I think he tore his ACL, they have not been able to find their footing without that key quarterback for them in the backfield. And Charge has been a team that's always done, but whether it was Charge or Austin Hypnotic before that, or even the ATX Kings before that, they were a team that did really well in D4. They would win events. They would bump up to D3, not be able to get anything going, and then after a year or two come right back down to D4 and restart the process. So I want to see if Cap City, at least for this event, I know it's pretty rough losing so many players. I want to see if they can stabilize a little bit here.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for them because, I liked watching them last year in D4. Very aggressive team, kind of got out there and just had their way with some other teams. I kind of like to see that aggression. I was looking forward to seeing it here. But, like you said, you lose a couple key people. It's a big step up. Hopefully they can maintain it, right the ship, and let's stay where they're at.
Yeah, I think in this case, losing that key piece was Connor Sanders, who ended up getting picked up by Shut Up or Trying semi-pro line. So losing his star power in the snake just has really had Cap City looking for the piece to replace him, and they haven't quite found that yet.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, and last but not least, we have the Outlaw Anodizing Sharks out of Houston. We've got Cade Blackwelder, Mark Chevalier, David Cuervo, Aaron Friedman, Scott Perkins, David Ratchford, Brandon Rath, Joseph Scalia, Jeremy Sturm, and Luke Webb, with Philip Middleton and Kaido Warner on staff. So the Outlaw Sharks, they're a good team. They're a good program. They've been they got a 7th place at the first event. So just inside the playoff contention, and then dropping all the way down to 13th, second to last at the last one. So maybe it was just a layout disagreement with their play style, or something just wasn't quite figured out. But I do expect better from Outlaw than a second to last. And it sounds like we lost Robert for. Oh,
no,
there we go.
I'm back. But Outlaw, they're just struggling a little bit. David Cuervo, pretty decent snake player, came over from Cold Blooded from D4. He wanted to move up and play D3. Cold Blooded wasn't ready yet, so he made the jump over to Outlaw Sharks. And again, I think it's a team that's kind of mid-building process. They're in a good program. They're just not quite there yet.
Yeah. I mean, with a team that they are a good D3 team, but the problem is whenever you're playing against a good D2 or even some great D1 players.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you're not just it's not D3 to D3, there's D3 on steroids.
Oh yeah. All right. So that does it for reading the rest of the roster and players. So now this one brought to us by Jared Sherman on his website, texanhemp.com. Let's give our predictions. Only the top 3 move on. Man, I think bracket A, there's going to be one very, very good team that's not going to be making it out.
That's going to be a rough one too.
Yeah. Between Gulf Coast, Evil, Grit, Beer Cats, Elite, TDSM, and the Bricktown Bucks, someone's going home in prelims. Out of I know Elite's listed below Beer Cats, but I think after they're finished at the last one, I would consider them above. But the question is, who is going to be that outside team looking in?
Ooh, well, let's just go ahead and Gulf Coast, definitely a given. Evil, I feel like's a given. So your toss-ups between Grit and Elite, right?
Yep.
I'm picking Grit. I love the Elite guys, but there was, I don't know. And again, Elite seems to play better when their back's against the wall and people doubt them. So maybe I'm going to give them a little fuel for the fire, but I'm just going to say Gulf Coast, Evil, and Grit. I think Grit's due.
I think this is going to be one of those where matchups matter a lot.
I do too.
So for those top 4 teams, Grit plays Elite, Gulf Coast, Beer Cats, and TDSM. So they've got 2 top teams and 2 lower teams there. Elite, they play Grit, Bricktown Bucks, Evil, and Beer Cats. So again, 2 top teams, 2 lower teams.
So it's going to wind up being who wins the Grit Elite game. Probably going to be who moves on.
Well, Evil also plays Gulf Coast Ragtag Army in that first game of the day. And then they play Beer Cats, they play Elite, and they play Bricktown Bucks. So I think Evil, out of those 3 teams, has had probably the easiest schedule. And then Gulf Coast plays Evil, Grit, Bricktown, and TDSM. So all 4 of those teams play 2 top teams and 2 lower teams. Pretty balanced. I want to say Evil, yes, they play Gulf Coast, but I do think that they are going to probably have the best chance to make it out outside of Gulf Coast themselves, which leaves it between Grit and Elite. So, and they play each other in their first game of the day. So that right there, you have to approach that game as a winner, go home.
I agree. I think that's going to be the deciding factor. If things stay consistent, what it's been through the first 2 events this year, that's the game that's going to decide who goes home and who moves on.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I will say Grit has to play Gulf Coast Ragtag Army, where Elite plays Evil. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Grit is more likely to upset Gulf Coast than Elite being likely to upset Evil. So I'm going to give it to Grit in that head-to-head matchup. But let me just for math's sake, I'm going to look at the Beer Cats, TDSM, and Bricktown as well, to see if any of them have an especially generous bracket. The Beer Cats, they play Evil, Grit, and Elite, and then they play TDSM. TDSM plays Bricktown, Beer Cats, Gulf Coast, and Grit. I mean, that's probably the best bracket you can hope for if you're TDSM. And then if you're Bricktown, you play Elite, Gulf Coast, and Evil. Yeah, no. So
that's God.
Yeah, the question is like, do I think Beer Cats or TDSM have it in them to upset any of the top teams that they play? I don't think TDSM is going to beat Gulf Coast or Grit, and I don't think Beer Cats are going to upset Evil or Grit. So yeah, it's just going to come down to the head-to-head matchup, I think, between Grit and Elite, and then the potential for upset. I think I'm going to have to give it to Grit.
I agree. That's my Gulf Coast, Evil, and Grit. And I know that's, we're picking the top three in the bracket, and it's kind of like a sellout. But really, in the Elite division, I mean, there's literally the top and the bottom. There's really not a whole lot of middle teams.
Yeah. Yeah, there's there's the top five, and then there's everybody else.
Everybody else.
Yeah. So up next, we've got Bracket B. We've got TKO, Super Gremlins, Beefy Boys, Balls Out, BDC, Cap City Charge, and the Outlaw Anodizing Sharks. Looking at this bracket, so it's a 16 bracket instead of a 17 bracket. So top and bottom don't play. 2 and 5, and then 3 and 4 don't play. So TKO does not play Outlaw. I think that's a huge advantage for Outlaw there. Beefy does not play Cap City Charge. That's a huge disadvantage, I would say, for Beefy. And then Balls Out not playing BDC. I think both of those teams are like kind of right there in the middle, and they probably would prefer to play each other. So Robert, I'll go first on this bracket. I'm going to say TKO definitely on top. I think Beefy not playing Cap City Charge is going to be a big disadvantage, but I think they'll be okay. And then I'm going to give it to the Sharks. I think they have it in them with not having to play TKO Super Gremlins and then getting to play Balls Out, BDC, and Cap City Charge. I think the Sharks probably have the easiest remaining schedule. So I'm going to go TKO, Beefy, and Sharks.
I'm going to go Beefy Boys, mostly due because it's the team I started 20-something years ago. But I honestly think that they're probably going to be – they're the defending champs. Even though they're ranked lower, they won the last event. So, and they knocked out the Super Gremlins at last year's championship and at the last event. So, Beefy, TKO. Then I want to say Balls Out, but I have a hard time arguing with your logic about the Outlaw Sharks and their schedule, so I'm going to go with the Outlaw Sharks as well. I mean, it's such logic. I mean, it's really hard to argue that.
Yeah, not playing the top team in your bracket, big advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically you get to duck at least one bullet. It's like, here's a free pass. Who do you want to duck? I want to duck the number one team. Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are my picks there. Everybody here in the comments, first, thank you for watching. If you agree with us or if you disagree with us, let us know who your picks are, either here or online, or feel free to deliver a message to us at the event. Just make sure that each message that you deliver to us is accompanied by at least one donut. We'll be accepting your comments, complaints, suggestions.
Yeah, my phone's been kind of blowing up here a little bit. People trying to explain their position, why they're better. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I can see that. But take yourself out of the argument. Don't root for your team just because it's your team. I mean, think about it dispassionately. And then, like I ask everybody on my show, I said, hey, give me your top 5. And let's just assume everybody's going to pick themselves as number 1. Because, I'll get messages all day. Hey, we're going to win. We're going to win. Okay, but who's the next 4? Well, I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to actually break this stuff down and think about it and put yourself out there. But I welcome all the comments. Please keep telling me I'm wrong.
Or you can take Eric Contreras' approach here in the chat. He says he's coming for some heads after this nonsense. So, Eric, you're going to have to prove us wrong there with Balls Out.
Hey, let me tell you something. Balls Out's my favorite. The first event, man, Eric Gutierrez owned that middle. He played the middle of the field better than anybody else in the elite division, and I stand by that statement. He stuck more people. Eric, I told you this at that event. I thought you did really, really well. Y'all came up a little short the last one, but if you're coming for some heads, everybody in the middle look out, because Eric will come get you.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're going to use this as some bulletin board material, more power to you.
Oh, absolutely. Here, put this stuff up there. Use it as fuel. Bring the hate. I welcome it. Come on, come tell me I'm wrong. In fact, prove me I'm wrong, and I will come on my show. I will come on this show. I will eat my crow sandwich and tell you that you were right, I was wrong. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, and better yet, take it out on each other on the field. In front of Robert while he's casting the games with Chris Lasoya in the booth.
Yeah, and then walk by the net, look up at me, and tell me, hey, screw you, you were wrong. I will admit it right there on the air. I have no shame. I'm not above saying, hey, you were right.
All right, fair enough. So I want to give a brief mention to the D6 3v3 teams here. This one's brought to us by Hydra. So we're not going to go over brackets because there are no brackets, and plus it's D6. It's a not very consistent division, but it's not supposed to be. It's we love the D6, but we do want to just go in, shout out everybody that is playing this one. So first up, we've got Arizona pole position, D6 Black. Shout out to Arizona. We got Danny Anderson, Colton Arnold, and Matthew Delaney with Andrew Harris and Brent Nielsen on staff. Up next, we've got the Blue Collar Ballers. I love the name. With Christopher Atwood, Fabian Billings, Nate Koenig, Christopher McCarthy, and Aaron Oreltley. Okay, with Ezekiel Lopez on staff. Up next, we've got the Bricktown Bucks Gold from Oklahoma City. You got Cody Brown, Sean Lee, Leonardo Meza, Roland Presley, and Tyreek Zviher with Aaron Fine and John Hubbard on staff. Looks like Elite Audio Video in the chat says matchup layouts and matchups matter. Absolutely, and I cannot wait to see what the layout is.
I cannot wait to see the layout as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I think everybody will be happy. I really do. I mean, it's nothing. I will tell you this. It's not crazy. There's not going to be any of that thing like you saw at the past NXL and stuff. There's nothing crazy here. So, this is a paintball field.
All right. Yeah. And if you have drones, please wait until Saturday. We don't want to deal with all that again.
Yeah, I mean, that was, and props to the guy from the D6 team that actually flew the drone over, didn't know, brand new guy, walked up, told Mike, hey, that was me. I didn't know I wasn't allowed to. I'll take my year suspension. I apologize. He was really honest about it, and, him and Mike had a conversation. He realized he was wrong and was not suspended after all. So, but again, it's blind for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm glad it had a happy ending there. Leave your drones home until Saturday. So up next, we got the Chaos Boars from San Antonio. You got Victor Martinez, Connor McNicholas, Timothy Miller, Colton Neiswanger, and Tyler Rodman. Next, we got FSU Proper D5. Love the name. You got Cedric Gutierrez, Brian Lester, and Gabriel Steins with Mark Franz and Nicholas Shadle on staff. Next, we got Get Shanked from Seguin with Megan Cole Proctor, Xavier Contreras, Dylan Cowan, Stephen Hernandez, and Tyler Worthy on staff. Next, we got the Gunners 187 with Stuart Armas, Jorge Areola, Chris Gonzalez, and Justin O'Neill with Brian Padilla, Corey Sepulveda, Jeremy Schumach, and Jesse Stevens on staff. Then we have LA Extreme out of Louisiana with Charles Coomer, Bryant Lawrence, and Austin Pascal with Charles Langlois on staff. LA Extreme White with Trey Burgess, Peter Johnson, and Chadwick Thompson with Charles Langlois on staff. Next, we got Lithium from Spring, Texas, playing out of Texas Legends. Trey Allen, Brody Dunaway, Luke Graham, Dylan Overstreet, and Braden Simon with Cassandra Wiseman on staff. Next, we got the Lone Star Mercs from Parker, Texas, out of Giant Party Sports, Jose Martinez, Austin Price, and Justin Taylor. Next, we got MVP out of Victoria, Texas, Brandon Gallardo, Kaden Montgomery, and Mason Montgomery with James Dowdy and Michael Wilson on staff. Next, we have the Riv Squids from Riviera Springs in Cedar Park.
Oh, the Riv Squids. Oh, my God. Some of these names, I just love it, man.
Yeah. We got Dakota Bennett, Shane Grimm, Dominique Holscher, Eric Jones, and William Jones with Troy Jones on staff. Up next, we got Texas Misfits B with Pascal Sear, Edwin Ortiz, Jordan Peterson, Jonathan Schwalm, and Jacob Tusing on the roster. Next, we've got Texecutioners by PB Gateway, Juan Cantu, Brandon Fan, and Dylan Silva with Pritcha Shritonsuk on staff. Next, we got Texecutioners Red by PB Gateway, Joe De Los Santos, Brian Fan, Paul Silva, and Abram Silva with Pritcha Shritonsuk on staff. Next, we have Vibe Check out of Dallas. Giant Party Sports, we got Stephen Malagani, Jade Nguyen, Thomas Sipes, and Robert Wilkerson. Next, we have the Von Army Soldiers out of Von Army, Texas. They call X Factor their home park. They got Damian Longoria, Gustavo Ramirez Acevedo, Jorge Sanchez, Diego Sanchez, and David Santillan with Raymundo Garcia, Richard Sanchez on staff, and they're coached also by my teammate Leo Lamas. If you're a beginner team, reach out to a coach. You will see leaps and bounds faster improvement than if you try to figure it out on your own. Trust me. Great pickup by the Von Army Soldiers. And then finally, we've got West Texas Chaos from Odessa. You've got Tyler Coulter, Johnny Coulter, Jonathan Gatlin, and Blake Moore with Henry Grace and Michael Jackson on staff. And that does it for our D6 teams. D6 guys, yeah, just get out there, have fun, take care of yourself. You, even though you're just playing D6 3-man, your points are like every 30 minutes or so, or however they do it. You are not immune to the heat. So take care of your body, stay hydrated, and prepare yourselves accordingly throughout the rest of the week.
And everybody who's not playing regular X-Ball, if you want an entertaining good time, go watch some 3-man D6. It is enlightening about what some people think paintball is. It's just fun.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. So, let me remove this. All right, Robert. So, that does it for going over all of the players, every single player, every single team, just like we've done all year. And these are just some marathon episodes, but I thank you again for sticking through it with it all. And I can't wait to see you this weekend.
I will see everybody this weekend. I look forward to it. It's always a blast, and I look forward to going to San Antonio and getting that nice oven suntan.
Absolutely. All right. So, Robert, do you have any final shout-outs or things you'd like to say before we sign off?
WeltsClothing.com. Every Wednesday is Welts Wednesday. I just want to say this hello to my boy Scott Stewart and Corey. Hey, y'all. Thank you for hooking me up and taking care of all of us.
Oh, Justin Doman is asking if we have any picks to win the event overall in each division. We can do that. Robert, you want to do that real quick?
Sure, let's go.
All right. So let's start out with D5. I think that... So we already made our picks for the brackets. I'll give you my expected finals matchup here.
Okay.
I don't think I'll pick a winner, but I'll give you my who I think is going to be in the finals, just to make Justin wanting a little bit more. So I'm going to go with Donut Shop Mafia D5, and give me. I'm going to come up with a real spicy pick here. I'm going to say it's Donut Shop Mafia D5 going up against Gunners 187 in the finals.
I absolutely 100% agree with that, but I'm going to go ahead and make my pick, and it's going to be Gunners 187.
All right, Gunners 187 taking it all from Robert. Love it. All right, Division 4. Oh, man. That's a tough one. I think it's going to be the Gunners returning to the finals. And outside of the Dragoons winning it all, I'm going to go with Gunners and Texas Titans.
Ooh, I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to go with the Texas Titans in the finals against Austin Assault. I think Bondo and his guys are going to make that next step up, and I'm picking Austin Assault to win the whole thing.
I do think the Texas teams are going to have a resurgence in this one. They're not going to let these Louisiana teams come in and walk all over them again.
I think Louisiana's in trouble.
And now we have Elite.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This one's a tough one. I will say I don't think that I do think that Colt Lukow not going to be there for TKO Super Gremlins is a much bigger hit than people might realize at the time. I'm going to go. I think both finalists are going to come out of bracket A. Sorry, Beefy Boys, but I think just the gauntlet that they have to run in bracket A just to make it out of prelims is going to prepare them much better than the prelim match in bracket B. I think whoever, at the very least, whoever the winner of the tournament is definitely going to come out of bracket A. No disrespect to the Beefy Boys. I just think that that bracket A has harder games in prelims, and they're going to be better prepared for Sunday ball. So give me Gulf Coast in the finals, taking on Evil.
Really? Pretty sure. Okay, well, I think the finals is going to be Evil versus the Beefy Boys, and I'm going to go on a limb here and say Evil's going to chalk up their first win.
They've been right there all year.
And yes, that's a little bit bias in there. There's a little bit, but again, it's a team I started a long time ago versus my grandson. But I actually think that Evil has a chance because they've changed their roster, and it's kind of an unknown. And like you said, TKO Super Gremlins lost their coach for this event. Beefy Boys have added a couple people to their roster. It's really going to come down to who manages the heat the best. Honestly, I really think that. So, but I'm going to go ahead and just go out on a limb for. You can't go wrong with the top four, but I'm going to pick Evil.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Evil. Evil versus you think Evil? I have Evil versus Gulf Coast Ragtag Army in the finals. Yeah, I know that might come as a shocker with Beefy Boys and TKO being the first and second place team from the last event. But I mean, yeah, I think the prelims are going to have bracket A teams much more prepared.
Yeah, I mean, the bracket A is the harder bracket for sure. I no doubt. But I don't know. It's no matter who wins this, the top four teams in this bracket, really the top six teams in this thing, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody because anybody in these top six could win this. I mean, honestly. So you're looking at matchups.
We're splitting hairs right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's literally going to come down to. Honestly, it's who's going to manage the heat, who's going to manage their paint. That's going to be a big thing. The humidity, who's going to manage your paint, and who likes the layout. Because, again, there's teams out here that are running teams, and there's teams out here that are shooters and laners. Does the field play into your strong suit?
We shall see. All right. So I think that does it, Robert. Thank you again for sticking it out with us for almost 3 hours here. Thank you, everybody online tuning in, sticking around this whole time, and interacting with each other in the chat, interacting with us, giving your team shout outs, even doing a little bit of trash talking toward each other. Love to see it. I want to see y'all leave it all out there on the field this weekend. It's going to be some great paintball.
I 100% agree. I look forward to everybody out there. And when you're out there, catch me out there Friday afternoon. Come by, say hello, give me some little team info so we can talk about it. And if you're out on the field that I'm calling, walk by the field, look up, holler at me, make sure I shout your name out. But remember, all the fields are covered live on stream. So, remember, everybody's watching, so don't suck.
You got that right. All right, so that does it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to go follow the USXBL on Instagram at USXBL. What other guests would you all like to see on the show? Be sure to leave a comment down below. While you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The show goes live Wednesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Central here on youtube.com/@Major League Paintball. And recordings are posted to YouTube, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify the next day. Quick shout out to my partner and sponsor tier subscribers on Patreon, Get That Shot, Paintball Kumite, BEMRAPS, Hydra, XTPL Events, Mariachi Agreste Oro, San Antonio 3v3 Series, 71 Designs, TexanHemp.com, QBRofficial.com, and the Splat Zone Trinity 3-man. If you want to join that list of names, just head on over to my Patreon. It's in my Instagram description or down below. A bit of a shameless plug there. And lastly, thank you to Major League Paintball for hosting the show. We will see you guys next week for episode 154. Where I'm sure we're going to have one of the winners of the show, one of the MVPs. So that's just another thing to play for this weekend. You want to get on the show, show us what you're made of on the field. All right.
All right. Well,
Robert,
thank you
have
for
a good
tuning in. All right. We'll see y'all later.